Greetings, Black family. Greetings. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Frontline Black News. I'm your host, Che and Krumah. We're joined with our other host, Lady Che.
I'm in the back.
Say hi to the people, Lady Che.
They know I'm in the back.
She's
You gotta
in the
see me
back.
because I'm in the back.
She's in the back, y'all. You see her? There she is.
Doing the most in the back. You
And,
saw what I did earlier.
What in the hell is they doing? And then on this season 5, episode 17, part 1 of the Frontline Black News, we'll be discussing several topics. The first topic is, of course, some tangibles. Continue to
Why you got
master.
that thing up?
What thing up?
That thing is like distracting as hell.
What thing?
Why do you have the background like that?
Because that's what I do. That's what I've been
Take that shit
having.
off, cuz. Like, no one
Why?
can see
They
you. 'Cause
can't
it's like
see
in and
you.
out magic back here, cuz.
They can see you.
Take
And
it off. Weird as hell.
it's dope. What up, underrated?
What's good? What's good, fam? How you doing? Hey, what's up, sis?
Hey, we all right? I was
Yeah,
just going
take
over
that
the
shit
intro
off
real
the
quick.
back, we'll be fine.
She don't like it, but I do.
It's like magic. Like, it's gross. Like, fucking distracting.
So we got Tangibles 2025 to Tangibles 2100. Then we got news, lies, and video. Then we got something to hide. Trump flip-flops on release of Epstein files. Our FBAs, the Gatekeepers. The truth about policing African and Caribbean Blackness. First generation immigrants call FBAs white supremacists. Now they want to police our blackness. Amrou Fudl, otherwise known as Myron the Tether Gaines, gets cooked by young brother on product of environment discussion. Then we got Ghana draws the line why Nigerians are being forced out, but FBAs are told to unify. Akon reacts to his African city being scrapped and scam allegations. Not true is what he says. Candace, the coon, Mammy Sanders, or Owens, excuse me, humiliated by Nicc Fuentes. And if we have time, DOJ suggests one day for officer in Breonna Taylor case, RIP Breonna Taylor. So her killer, they only want to give him 1 day in jail. So please join us on StreamYARD, YouTube, Frontline Black News. The links to all our channels are in the description, including J Militants and Kukizi and the Church of Black Power. I should add you on there too, underrated. And if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you understand will only confuse you in all 9 areas of human activity. And that is economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, sex, war, and religion. And some say health and nutrition. And that's from the great Nelly Fuller Jr., RIP to him. He passed away this past February, ProduceJustice.com. And then we got racism, white supremacy as conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival and prevent white genetic annihilation. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. RIP to her as well. All right, so those are the topics. Thank you for joining us, Underrated. Did you have anything you want to share with us before we get started?
Just saying that understand what's going on, family. With us as a people, keep on being educated the right way. And I know some of us do not like watch TV. What's going on? I understand that, but the answers is right there, and even other institutions that is practicing what you say.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, y'all just keep on learning. Just keep on.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So I'm going to start the show off like I always started off with the tangibles. This is the year and the decade of tangibles. Continue to demand something tangible for your vote, Black family, from now all the way up to 2100. So back in 2019, our good brother Tariq Nasheed came out with the hashtag Tangibles 2020. And in it, he was detailing everything that we, meaning the foundation of Black Americans, were going to demand from the two-party system. So instead of 2020, it's 2025, all the way up to 2100. Where is it? So let me share my screen. Got something to add. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Twin Pyramid.
Oh, the boys are the cheddar.
Mm-hmm. So we got tangible. So instead of 2020, it's 2028 for the presidential election, 2026 for the midterm election, and 2025 for like big cities like New York City elections. So the 2025 local big city elections are coming up. 2026 midterm elections are coming up, and the 2028 presidential elections are coming up. And foundational Black Americans are going to reject the 50-year-old plus malign neglect policy that has been implemented by the political system. This malign neglect policy mandates that Black Americans should be ignored and only mentioned in vague and non-specific terms, lumping foundational Black Americans in the groups with minorities, immigrants, people of color, distressed, downtrodden, underserved, underprivileged, etc., marginalized, distressed, has only hindered the progress of Black Americans as a group while providing tangible benefits for other groups. Oh, vulnerable groups. That's another one they love to use. Vulnerable groups, etc., has only hindered the progress of Black Americans as a group while providing tangible benefits for other groups. In this election cycle, like I said, 2025 for like New York's local election, 2026 for the midterm elections, and 2028 for the presidential elections, Black Americans are going to insist that our needs are specifically met by politicians who are seeking our vote. Foundational Black Americans want tangible benefits, specifically for us. We do not want trickle down, secondary benefits that are provided for every group. Every group has not been systematically marginalized and disenfranchised in every area of society as foundational Black Americans. So we refuse to be lumped in with groups who often assist in the exploitation and disenfranchisement of Black Americans. So politicians must offer tangibles, specifically the foundational Black Americans, or we simply will not vote for them. Be sure to spread this message far and wide on social media using the hashtag Tangibles2020. So that's exactly what we've been doing, Black family, for the past 5 years, 6 years actually, spreading this hashtag far and wide. And to give you even more context on this malign neglect policy, shout out to my homeboy Murray. This is his book called The Whiteness of Destruction, The Origins and Consequences of White Aggression. He has a section on page 135 about malign neglect of Black males. Malign neglect, an attitude or policy of neglecting or often delicate or undesirable situation that one is held to be responsible for dealing with. Malign neglect policies is a new refinement word used by white supremacists to ignore black people's problems and issues, which are always caused by the white supremacists, directly or indirectly. We can see this especially when we study black males in America. Black males are often shown in a negative light, only promoting degenerative behaviors, and never properly being represented for the positive contributions that we provide to our wives, our children, our neighborhood, our community, our city, our state, the entire country, and the world. So this is what the Democrats do to us and have been doing to us for over 50 years. All right, thoughts. Ladies first. Go ahead, Lady Tay. What are your thoughts on the tangibles?
Um, I think that what we're coming up to right now is what midterms,
Local elections and
local
then
election
midterms.
midterms. Um, I think we definitely have to be demanding some shit from them. Although I'm still with sitting on the couch chilling because it doesn't look like Democrats are going to come out of they're gonna. It's not like they're gonna pull their head out their ass, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm kind of still chilling, waiting to see what happens. But as we're waiting, we got to be doing things to better our condition for ourselves, and we got to be demanding tangibles within ourselves. So, I'm all for it. We got to definitely stay away from this broad and ambiguous talk. Um, and not everything is how they say it is.
Right.
We definitely got to be more cognizant of what's going on in our local areas because it's nice to watch the news and shit, but we can get complacent, and the news might not be telling us everything.
Mm.
Whereas if you go outside, you might see things a lot different. And don't be afraid to fucking be up in their face about some shit. You'll see. We're gonna show you how to do it on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
You see how we do it. We have to get up in their face on Monday. Uh, I don't want to get into it because I take distraction from the topics.
Yeah.
But we were in a Zoom the other day about these camera surveillance systems in our city, and I was going off probably the most, and I'm on the task force. So you would think that I would be allowed to speak, and they didn't let me speak. That's how much going off I was doing, and they even said we could speak. So I was going off to the point where if I was there in person, they would have had to kick me out. That's how upset I was. That's how angry I was. That's how disrespected I felt as an American citizen,
Mm.
as a U.S. born on the soil citizen. Um, Certain things are privileges that we grew up hearing.
Yeah.
My little accent was coming out. Hurry.
Yeah. Country accent.
um, Hearing. So a lot of things were like meant to be like it's a privilege to have a driver's license. It's a privilege that
Yeah.
our folks and elders used to say. So they keep us in line
Mm-hmm.
with doing the right things and whatnot. But yet, it's not the same for illegal aliens.
Yeah.
And so I was highly upset. So like, don't be afraid to be angry and to make sure they understand that as a foundational Black American, you have every right to be angry about what's going on in your local areas, especially if the money is being misused or misallocated for things that you don't need or that your city doesn't need, but your people need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all I gotta say. Tangibles,
Tangible. So something real, something with substance.
substance. Like they can't get away anymore. We're in 2025 where they can't get away with
Symbolic gestures.
symbolic gesture or polite pandering. Polite pandering is still like symbolic. It's whatever they want to say to make you shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like anything
Form
you
of
say to make you shut up.
pacification.
Yeah, they'll give you whatever they want as long as you shut the fuck up and stop bitching about whatever it is that you're upset about. And we can't let them do that no more because um, I like to say I'm Generation X and I'm the last of a real breed,
Yeah.
right? The last of a real breed.
Yeah.
That means the last of the real fighters, the last of the real defenders, the last of the real, right?
Yeah.
And I'm from 1980, so I like to say that I am the last of a rare and limited fucking breed. Anything that came after me is like, wow, debatable, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm exception just. Um, I feel like that because our new generation don't got the same uh, fight and flair as we do, and partially it's because of baby though.
Mm-hmm.
Partially because we didn't want them to go outside and get hurt. Partially, whatever the reasons are. But now we are in, we in the revolution, y'all. You thought it wasn't gonna be televised. It's all over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you thought we weren't in it, we've been in it, and we're heavily at war right now. So it's only gonna get worse. I say this to let you know that they can't shut us up. If you want to get outside and you want to let them know, you take your motherfucking ass outside, handle your business, and go back inside. Don't stay out there with them. Just go out there and let them know what needs to be said. Get on these city council meetings. Um, get with a motherfucker that you can kind of trust in the government. You know what I mean? Like us, we looking at people that we know that sit in political position in our area. And out of the what? How many people do we know that sit in political position just from Coleman all the way down? Well, like 10?
At least 10.
At least 10. And maybe two of them might be decent. You did? So we're trying to think about how to have trust with them so that we can work on serious shit like reparations, crime bill, things that we actively need. But we can't build that if there's no trust
Right.
with them because we don't want the language to change.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want it to be an all inclusive thing that everybody and their mama can get. So if you can understand that's why it takes so long, a lot of it has to be because of building trust. A lot of these motherfuckers would be so happy to take whatever the fuck me and Jesse create and ride with it as their own and let it get dismantled to I'm white and I say so, and then that's what they put out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's taking so long. But we have to stay vigilant. It seems like, and it only feels like, because of what we can see, that there's just only a handful of us doing the serious heavy lifting in our city. We could be on podcasts all motherfucking day, but eventually we gotta go outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead.
Right. So continue to demand something tangible for your vote, Black family. And that's something real, something substance, something you can count, measure, feel with your own hand, i.e. a check, i.e. reparations, in the form of direct lineage-based cash payments to the descendants of mixed health slavery freedmen, and an anti-Black hate crime bill, and tax-free exemption, and of course land. They're not offering us any of those things. They don't waste your time. So moving along, we got news, lies, and video. So this is from 3 minutes of Black empowerment. We got share the screen. Yes.
What's up, everybody? Get ready for your 3 minutes of Black empowerment. Trump said he was going to release the Epstein files, but so far, it's quieter than a church mouse in a crack house. Pressure from the MAGA base is mounting. Even this little weasel, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, is being forced to have to pick sides. First, Trump tried to say that Obama made up the Epstein list. Now he's trying to tell everybody just to forget all about it.
I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't.
More and more conservative whites are starting to see that Trump is more aligned with the establishment than they thought. They're also starting to believe maybe he's on the list. Maybe he's been hanging around at Epstein's daycare center too. The damaging effects of this will continue long after its time in the news cycle. When you look at the uphill battle that the Democratic Party is facing, you'll see that things aren't too much better for them either. The growing fracture in white solidarity is real. By the end of this administration, the situation with these two parties might give way to a change that no one is expecting and no one ever thought possible. Oh boy, Drake says UK rappers are better than American rappers. If that's true, then how come he hasn't offered Slick Rick one of his famous toothless blowjobs yet? The same brothers and sisters who I was warning about this goofball when he first came out are the same ones feeling some kind of way about him now. That's why Puff Daddy punched him in the face a few years ago. I don't care if he was just kidding, and I don't care if he's half FBA. I just never liked this fool. I don't even know one song from that geek. Get out of here. We got Karen Big Mouth Bass giving more cash assistance to illegal aliens. Could it have anything to do with this? Her ex-husband and baby daddy is Hispanic. I heard when they got divorced, their mariachi band broke up. Notice the pattern, family. They always pick somebody like that. The name of the game is to vet these people and to make sure they have zero loyalty to us. It's all about diluting our influence and replacing us as a voter bloc. Good luck with that. Family, if you look really close, you're going to notice a pattern. White supremacy's 20th century hustle is falling like dominoes. From the Epstein files all the way to what's happening over at Essence Magazine right now. Everybody and everything is becoming exposed. The establishment is starting to lose its footing. The same thing that happened to Joe Biden is the same thing that's starting to happen to the entire mechanism. Politicians becoming out of alignment with the two-party system, all while the two parties are both headed for destruction. I love it. America as a country will survive. But when it's all said and done, I believe government-sanctioned anti-Black policy will take a catastrophic hit. Make sure you hit the like button and leave a comment, and make sure you hit the bell icon so you can know when the next video drops. Peace out.
Black News. Thank you for 3 minutes of Black empowerment. Thank you for that. 3 minutes of Black empowerment. All right, Lady Che, what's your thoughts on what 3 minutes of Black empowerment just to lay it out for us? News, lies, and video.
I think it's foolish. Like, check it out. Yeah, I have a question. Like, didn't some of these motherfuckers vote for him? What do you say, motherfuckers he's deporting?
Yeah, the ones that could vote, like, the ones that could vote, but the ones that could vote, they can't get deported like that.
Well, that's not like that goes to what we heard the other day on that motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
Right? If you could get a motherfucking driver's license, then you must be able to vote.
Yeah, in certain states, yes.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Okay, there's some confusion, but again, this goes to this thing that me and Jesse were talking about earlier. I just turn my machine off, please. Here's what I think, Sally. I think that it does sound like they're trying to. It does sound like they're trying to replace us in a voting block, which is not going to behoove them.
Right.
Because what we see is everything that old boy said he was going to do. Do we really care about the Epstein files? No, I don't.
I mean, I kind of do.
I don't. I more care about what's going on with Diddy. Like, to be honest, I'm a Black focused topics. You know what I mean? Uh, I don't really give a fuck what's going on with Epstein. It is 98 motherfucking degrees in here, family. Don't judge us. My hair is like napping up as we speak.
Yeah, her kitchens are.
Horrible. But I feel like extra hot all of a sudden. I don't care about that. I just really think like, man, you really deporting your base. You fucking up your base. Your base is angry. The grapers are upset. I mean, like, you're looking foolish all over the fucking United States. Not to mention other countries are like.
And President Trump's latest threat to Germany.
I feel like
we've been seeing, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you stop that shit?
I feel like he's living up to
his poll numbers, which are low. And I think that.
And President Trump's latest threat to journalists covering his.
It's freezing up.
Why do you keep touching things?
Because I'm trying to move along to the next video.
Hello, everybody. Give me back your power.
Fine, I need to keep freezing up. The damn computer.
And President Trump's latest.
Okay, go ahead.
You're gonna make me forget my thought.
Go ahead.
All I'm saying to you is that, he's doing everything that he said he was gonna do. Black people are not really truly upset with Trump yet. And until then, we just gotta be sitting and watching. It's really much what we have to do. As far as them replacing us as a voting bloc, let them.
It look real good,
Let them do it. I mean, for real, we've been sitting on the couch.
Not all of us. I wish we were all sitting on the couch, but no.
No, that's on them ignorant ass motherfuckers that don't want to get on the couch. Sit on the couch. There's plenty of room for you. Trust me, all of us family members, we got plenty of room on the couch, on the floor. There's chairs we could pull out. Come on over. Sit it down.
No, they're not going to do that because they're going to feel like they're not exercising their civic duty.
Bring your motherfucking ass over here. Sit on the motherfucking couch. Grab a chair. Get some popcorn. Bring some drinks. And chill out. Let them take over. Let them replace us. It's not going to last long. As you can tell, they need us for everything. It ain't going to last long but another 2 cycles. Let them work it out. Let them fight. You know what I mean? 2 cycles. They'll come to some understanding. By then, it'll be 2026.
No, by then it'll be 2032.
That'll be 2026, 2028.
No, 2 cycles, baby.
2 cycles. We got a midterm and another one.
No, 2 presidential cycles.
No,
It's going to take 2 presidential cycles.
1 presidential cycle and 2 midterms to do it.
It's gonna take 2 presidential cycles and 2 midterm cycles for them to get it.
Just you're adding more time than necessary. It's gonna take 3 major events and 1 midterm and 1 presidential cycle. Bring it over. Sit on the couch. In my living room, I got enough ass space on my couch for 5 people. Not to mention, I got a couple pull-out chairs. You grab a table, you come in my room. I got a little sofa in my room, and I got all my bed. We can at least fit 8 people sitting on my bed. So, and 2 chairs. I have 2 chairs in this bitch. Come on over, sit it down. Yes. Don't worry about just his big ass. He can move over. He's sitting in a chair right now anyway. I didn't say you could hit it. You could hit it. I just hit it. So yeah. That's all I'm saying. Family. Let them replace us. What they're replacing us with? More of them? They'll see. They're going to keep getting deported.
Yeah.
They keep getting deported and get locked up. Look, they need to be punished. Check it out.
Wow is right, man. 285.
Check it out. What do you say? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That said, I got eight asses that sit on my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm at least taking up 2 spots right now with my cakes. Anyway.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say, I was just joking around. What I was gonna say was they need to be punished for the protesting because we couldn't get away with. Just think about it like this: Black people could not get away with holding up a fucking tank or sitting in front of vehicles or any of that. They've lost one person so far. We would have been got shot and killed the first day.
They were using heavy artillery on kids that were throwing rocks.
Right.
During Ferguson and during Freddie Gray in Baltimore.
Turn on my machine. Just turn it off, please. Yeah. So, like I'm saying, Felly, we need to watch the punishment happen. What?
The machine is very hot.
Karen Bass. A lot of these motherfuckers, we need to punish them. Gavin Newsom. California need a punishment all the way around for what they're doing. So yeah, I would suggest we think about those type of things. I don't like what they're not doing in the reparation task force, or what they're trying to get away. Take that over there, baby. Keep that straight. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thank you. I think some punishment needs to happen. Let them replace us. Fuck it. They'll get some understanding that it's not a good thing. They'll back right out of it because that's the most wishy-washy fucking class of people ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go ahead.
All right. So on to this Epstein situation. Trump flip-flops on release of Epstein files. Ooh. So Amy Goodman's gonna give us an update on that.
Go ahead, Amy.
Yeah, and the copyright disclaimer. Let me do the copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. All right, what you got for us, Amy?
His threat to journalists covering his administration and related scandals. He's threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal after an article was published late Thursday that alleges Trump contributed a sketch drawing of a naked woman to a birthday album for serial sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell, now in prison for about 20 years. The paper did not publish the sketch, but described it as an outline of a naked woman with Trump's signature scribbled below her waist in a way to mimic pubic hair. The sketch came with a typewritten note the Wall Street Journal called an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. This is the note, quote, "Voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything," the note began. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret, unquote. President Trump has denied he authored the message and is now calling the case the, quote, Epstein hoax. But amidst growing outrage among his MAGA base over the new allegations and their calls for the Department of Justice to release more Epstein files, President Trump said he's directing Attorney General Pam Bondi to seek the release of grand jury testimony, which a judge would have to approve and would likely have little new information, as only a partial set of pages from the massive amount of files that are called the Epstein files. On Thursday, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt was asked if Trump would appoint a special prosecutor in the Epstein case.
Sorry, put your link in the chat.
Well, the idea was floated from someone in the media to the president. The president would not recommend a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. That's how he feels. And as for his discussions with the attorney general, I'm not sure.
This comes after the Trump administration said Wednesday it had fired longtime U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey, who helped lead the successful prosecution of Jeffrey Epstein and his former girlfriend and accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. Maureen Comey is also the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, who became a prominent critic of the president after Trump fired him in 2017. Trump on Wednesday dismissed the Epstein story as boring, but said he backed the release of any credible documents. He later lashed out against members of his MAGA movement over demands he release the Epstein files, calling his own supporters weaklings. For more, we're joined by Aswin Subsang, senior political reporter at Rolling Stone, covering the modern American conservative movement and GOP. His newest pieces are headlined Team Trump was on effing warpath to kill story about salacious letter to Epstein, and inside Trump's frantic failing mission to crush the Epstein MAGA rebellion. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Swin. It's great to have you with us from Cincinnati. Can you start off by explaining to people why the Epstein files have been so critical to the growth of the movement, have been so much a part of it, along maybe as important as Trump's allegation that the 2020 election was stolen?
Well, since you mentioned his lies about the 2020 presidential election, isn't it funny which conspiracy theories, rabid right-wing modified theories in which lies from Donald Trump end up getting cemented into official federal government policy and Republican Party doctrine, and which ones are set aside as soon as they become sort of inconvenient for the dear leader. When it comes to his anti-democratic authoritarian lies about elections and the 2020 election across the federal government and different departments, it is being cemented into actually policy and practice. The lie that the election was stolen from Donald Trump in 2020, and therefore something has to be done about it, and there are all these different crackdowns going on. Now, when it comes to the far-right conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein, suddenly Donald Trump and his government, after saying for months that to their supporters, not the American people specifically, but to their most MAGA-fied, extremely online supporters, we're going to get this done, we're going to do something about it. Suddenly they're taking on a completely across-the-board, full-court press, nothing to see here, folks attitude. It's a stunning reversal because for years, some of the most prominent figures in the MAGA and also mainstream conservative movement, including some of the most senior appointees in Donald Trump's second term, like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel at the FBI, have been fostering these MAGA conspiracy theories about Jeffrey Epstein, saying that his death behind bars in 2019 was likely a murder that was committed to cover up the alleged sins and crimes of a sort of pedophile Democratic Party-run cabal that helps run the so-called deep state, and that these enemies of Donald Trump and MAGA were bumping off Jeffrey Epstein because they were afraid his testimony or the files or what he had to say or his alleged blackmail operations would implicate them. What I just described to you is what I would describe a borderline piece of holy writ and religious understanding within the MAGA movement. This isn't a small thing or conspiracy theory that they adopt or bandy about just because they want to or for fun. Among so much of the so-called MAGA grassroots, this is taken as almost a level of religious principle for them. Donald Trump, in trying to tell a lot of his supporters to move on finally from this issue, might as well be telling his evangelical supporters, by the way, adultery isn't a sin. You read that wrong in the Bible. That part of scripture doesn't exist. So for days now, going on nearly 2 weeks, as we've been reporting out at Rolling Stone, a very fundamental and sort of perversely fascinating aspect about the story is that President Trump and other senior lieutenants in his administration in the White House and elsewhere have been throwing a ton of time and resources at trying to mitigate the damage they've done to themselves, both within the federal apparatus and also outside among the broader, shall we call it, the MAGA sphere, and among President Trump's supporters. They've been doing a ton of damage control and a bunch of outreach efforts, including to top MAGA influencers who Trump himself has been personally beseeching, trying to get them to lay off of him and just, drop this whole Epstein kerfuffle. What we've been picking up on, days of reporting on this, is a level of operation that you typically see from administrations and White Houses when they're trying to pass major pieces of legislation on Capitol Hill, not when you're trying to get the Charlie Kirks of the world to lay off of Pam Bondi when it comes to the famous pedophile. So there's a lot of layers to this, a lot of rifts and backlash that's going on throughout MAGA world, not just in influencer communities, but even within the vast federal apparatus and within the very tippy top levels of federal law enforcement itself. And these are having dramatic consequences for Donald Trump right now in a way that currently has no end in sight. And again, this is all over conspiracy theories that his people long nurtured for years and years. It's absolutely fascinating.
So if you can talk about Dan Bongino, number 2 at the FBI, as it's been described, a former Epstein obsessive, also Kash Patel, head of the FBI. Is this a true rift between them and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, and Trump, who just talked about speaking with Dan Bongino and that he's doing fine? And then what more do you have on the divisions within the Trump administration around this? For example, J.D. Vance doing damage control and more. And how damaging is this that Trump is telling his own supporters he doesn't care about them anymore, insulting them by calling them weaklings, saying this is a Democratic plot, when in fact it's come up a groundswell from within the MAGA movement?
Right. Well, when you talk to people close to Donald Trump, whether it's those who work in the upper echelons of his second administration or other Trump advisors, or just people in his broader social and political orbit, one recurring element that they'll tell you in recent days is, look, the way Donald Trump is conducting himself publicly and the way he keeps talking about this and trying to post through it online, it is making it exceedingly difficult for some of his biggest supporters and boosters to not start at least suspecting that he has something to hide, or maybe even that, well, he's kind of acting like someone who is in the so-called Epstein files in some sort of embarrassing or nefarious way. Whether he is or isn't, that's an issue for transparency that Trump and the federal government have the power to follow through on. They're just absolutely refusing to right now and playing all of these different bait and switch games. So like anybody who follows the MAGA fever swamps, even casually, can see that this isn't something that's not going away anytime soon, and that this is something that, as much as they would like to say over and over and over again, Donald Trump is promulgating these ridiculous conspiracy theories that, Obama and Hillary Clinton wrote the Epstein files, in part maybe to try to get Trump. That's something that just does not scan for people who adore Donald Trump, generally speaking, because that's a conspiracy theory that was just invented out of thin cloth by Donald Trump and is just not anywhere in the MAGA lore about what these Epstein files may or may not say. And to your other question about what is going on within the actual federal government, not just in far-right influencer communities or whatever. Something we flicked at in our reporting over the past 9 days or so at Rolling Stone is an element which actually hasn't really permeated that much in national political media for going on for quite a while, at least several months. Attorney General Pam Bondi and other officials in Trump's appointed federal law enforcement, like Trump hyper-loyalist Kash Patel, who is, of course, now director of the FBI, they do not like each other. There's been petty feuds and long-simmering tension between them, for personal tension between the two of them for quite some time. And this whole Epstein debacle has only exacerbated that and brought that back to the fore. And also, even more so than that, it's definitely no secret nowadays that the number 2 at the FBI, Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi, are incredibly distrustful of each other, especially with this whole Epstein mess, and really, really do not like each other to the point where anybody of any level of influence you talk to in Trump land or within the federal government right now will tell you that Dan Bongino has basically torched his reputation or standing, as it were, with other senior lieutenants in the Trump administration, and that no matter how long he officially stays on the job right now, his days are numbered, both because of his own antipathy for this situation and the bridges that he has just burned completely into the sea on this matter. So all of this, it's not hyperbole at all to say that the Epstein affair, as it is right now, has kind of set the Trump administration at its very highest levels on fire and has threatened to tear it apart in the form of, we don't know what in the next week or two necessarily the makeup of the leadership of federal law enforcement is going to be. I also think it is not an exaggeration at all to say that over this issue, within the past less than 2 weeks, President Trump has managed to sustain more political damage and self-inflicted blowback on himself than he did when he literally bombed Iran last month. That is an objectively wild thought to consider or to fathom. But if you know anything about how the MAGA grassroots function, it is weirdly expected with how this administration has been going lately.
Sun Subsang, I want to thank you so much for being with us, senior political reporter at Rolling Stone. We will link to your articles inside Trump's frantic failing mission to crush the Epstein MAGA rebellion and blaming Obama, crooked Hillary. Trump's Epstein memo meltdown gets even worse. Thanks for watching.
Yep, and make sure y'all like and subscribe to Frontline Black News. All right, Lady Che, what are your thoughts on the dump flip-flopping on the release of the Epstein files?
Well, like the Epstein files, I mean, I don't know. I feel like everybody's making a big old deal out of it. They must be on there too. You know what I mean? I don't really have a real opinion about it. I just think it's just comical.
Yeah.
Of all the things people could be upset about, you know what I mean?
It's been a long time coming with this list.
Yeah.
It's been about, what, 6 years? Jeffrey Epstein been there for like, what, 6 years? 6, 7 years, something like that. Yeah, since 2019, so. And the dump said that he was going to release the Epstein files, the JFK files, the MLK files on day one. And here we are. December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Here we are, almost 9 months into his election, or his presidency. And we still ain't got no damn Epstein list. All right, so move to the next topic, and that is, are FBAs the gatekeepers? The truth about policing the African and Caribbean Blackness. So Uncle Phil's gonna give us an update on that.
We've been seeing, ladies and gentlemen, people have been really coming out trying all kind of mental gymnastics to try to figure out their way to either break down the FBAs and how we feel about delineation, just about everything in general, right? And they're trying to figure out like, aha, I got in, because they're trying to pierce that armor. That's what they're trying to do, right? So I want you to listen to this guy. He's going to try to pierce the armor with some craziness. And it's like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it with y'all? What is it? Like, I'm serious. Like, if somebody told me they're, delineating, or they doing something else, right? As an immigrant, I'm like, God bless you. It's hey, man, I ain't got no beef with y'all. I'm cool, And they say, oh, yeah, no, we cool with you. It's no problem. I say, okay, all right, good. Hey, man, but I rock with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know I'm not your group, but I rock with you. And as far as I would go with it. But no, everybody just flipping the hell out. Even some Black Americans. Let's go ahead and check this out.
Want to judge people Blackness, but then when Africans and Caribbeans come up, we judging their Blackness.
Now, before he finished, look what he wrote. White cultured Black Americans that deny whiteness, dislike Africans, desire whiteness. I'm sorry. So if you're honoring your heritage, if you are appreciating your ancestors, if you are focusing on FBAs first, that means we're being white cultured and desire whiteness. This, like I said, they're trying everything they can. And what you see up there is actually a shaming tactic. Okay. It's shame. And shaming tactics don't work. We're impervious to shaming tactics, right? So you want to say that we're being white cultured and desire whiteness or whatever the hell you want to say, my brother, say it. But the delineation movement is going on strong.
They come from countries that are Black, that are run by Black people, that they're raised by Black people. We're judging people's Blackness that are raised by Black people because their Black isn't American Black, but Drake's Black is not American Black. And then we're allowing people that call themselves biracial and multiracial to speak for Black issues while they refuse to even identify as Black, right? And will try to assert that they are oppressed by Black people, even though they're saying they're Black one day and the next day they're saying they're Kabla Canadian and they're French and Spanish and all this other stuff. Like, Black is Black. You can have all kind of other admixtures in you. The question about Drake's Blackness is not about racial identity. It's not about ancestry. It's not about whether he has a Black parent or a Black relative. But that does not equal loyalty to Black culture. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is not celebrated because his skin color was Black or because his parents was Black. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is celebrated because he helped pass the 1964 Civil Rights Act that led to a completely different life for Black people and for non-Black people. That's why all people, whether they Black, biracial, woman, man, gay, straight, that's why all different groups of people, Jewish people, everybody celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because of his culture, because of the way he lived, because of who he stood up for. It was not just because he was born Black.
Now, his argument was skin tone in the beginning. Then when he got to Martin Luther King, he started talking about culture. Then he went back to skin tone. Bro, what is it? Is it skin tone or is it culture? Let me go ahead and answer your question. We're not talking about people's skin color because you're doing this skin color argument. We used to think that way, right? Before the delineation movement, we was more so focused on, hey, they come from Africa, they come from the Caribbean, they Black, we all Black, right? Fine. But what we didn't understand, how could people that's Black just like me have similar features like me, but yet they're saying that they're not Black and they're gonna stay away and all these other things, right? How? What is that? And it freaked us out because somebody so-called Black like us don't want to even be around us. Well, what we didn't understand was these people come from different cultures than what we are, right? Our culture is to say, hey, I ride with anybody Black. That's our culture. In their culture, we looked at it as a different ethnic group, a different tribe. They don't see us as Black and we ride with anybody Black. They don't see that. That's not their lived experience. You understand? So what we're saying as FBAs is this. It is a cultural thing. We are in our culture. We're not focused on color. If that's the case, there's Asians that has the skin tone the same color as Black people. They are Hispanics that has the same color. They are East Indian. They have the color. Arabs, they have some of the same skin tones as Black people. And they are not Black. They are different culture people, different languages, and anything else that they have going on. The fact is, what's freaking y'all out, let me tell you really what's freaking y'all out. Let me go through it real quick. I wanted to make sure I find this, and here we go. So the delineation movement is more so a threat to any immigrant group because delineation actually equals protectionism for FBAs, right? So it's more so us, kind of closing the ranks, closing the circle. And, it's about Black Americans with U.S. slavery lineage claiming our own political space. It's a resource and identity, no longer being the catch-all for global Black people. Now, for immigrants, This is why they upset, because it feels exclusionary, right? And say, wait a minute, they created a VIP club that I can't get in. All this time I can get in the club, but now they created VIP and I can't get nowhere near the VIP because the bouncers are there and I can't even penetrate it. I can try to say I'm black like them. I can say that they don't know who they are and it don't even matter, right? Now, in times of crisis, like mass deportation, that's a crisis moment for them. Protectionist movements seem more threatening. They say immigrants, see the risk of being pushed out economically and socially in white spaces and Black America. So the folks are saying, we don't want you around here. We're going to get you out of here. And then they can't run to the Black community for refuge and say, no, we delineated. Hope that work out for you. So this is why a lot of them getting bothered. Right now, they said economic competition and resource scarcity. Many immigrants see FBA delineation as a threat to opportunity. It says scouts, contracts, and even Black media, and the influencer space, are certainly not guaranteed to them anymore. So we delineated, it took away the guarantees that was there. In the era of mass deportation, any loss of political protection or community solidarity makes them feel exposed. Hence to why a lot of times they upset. Some of them are scared. They're trying to find every little bit of thing to try to get in with Black America. Now, they say if FBAs get reparations or targeted policies, immigrants worry that about being left out or even being scapegoated when hard times hit. So they have a lot of things going on. Is why they won't leave us alone from whether they are distant cousins, Latinos, whoever. Now, the political anxiety in the Trump era. As Trump's policies have created fear, for immigrants, deportation, ICE raids, family separation. When FBA delineation rises at the same time, all that's happening. It can feel like everyone is closing ranks and no safe space. It's left for immigrants of African and Caribbean descent. Some feel betrayed. This is where some of the anger is coming from, because some of them feel betrayed that Black unity is breaking down at a moment of maximum threat from the government. But once again, where was that unity when Trump wasn't around? When Biden was in office, where was the unity? When Biden was giving all them set-asides, nobody wanted to be unity. Nobody wanted to be Black until now. Now, it says loss of access to Black political machinery. For decades, the Black category, is broad and politically useful. For all people of African descent in the United States. But delineation ends that, and now immigrants, can't automatically tap into the Black institutions, networks, or policy wins without being challenged on their lineage. See, those lineage checks is bothering people. It's bothering a whole lot of people. Why y'all gotta be asking me where my people from? Where I was born? Where my family from? Why y'all keep asking that? Once again, it makes them feel exclusionary because now it's a paperwork check. But in Black American culture, we always do that. Hey, we hear them talking, so where you from? We always do that in Black American culture. So it's not something in the delineation movement that just popped up to talk to immigrants or anybody outside our particular community. We do that in FBA culture, period. Now I say the shift comes at a time. When many immigrants are already feeling under siege from white America, aka Trump, and now see FBAs drawing hard lines as well. Now the next one is cultural and emotional factors. Some immigrants feel disinvited from Blackness. That's a lot of it too. They feel disinvited. Their stories, food, and culture, are no longer centered in Black America. And they fear social isolation, erasure, and even being othered, by the very group they once saw as kin. And FBAs, on the other hand, are tired of being erased and exploited for the benefit of others, aka Essence Fest. You understand? So this is the root of the conflict that's going on. Now, immigrants oppose FBA delineation more fiercely now because of Trump's anti-immigrant agenda. Is raising the stakes for survival and acceptance, and delineation is seen as a form of in-group protection. That could leave immigrants stateless, not fully accepted. By mainstream America or Black America. And for FBA's delineation, it say it's survival, which it is. I say for immigrants, it can feel like a double threat, let's say, in a hostile political environment. That is the perfect diagnosis of how Black immigrants are feeling about delineation. They feeling excluded. They feel like they've been cast out of American Blackness because they always been included in it. They fear, they have fear of what's going on. Some of them are downright feel betrayed by it. They're angry by it. That's why you see all these videos are being made constantly by a lot of immigrants, or even some Black Americans who maybe have immigrants in their family, or whatever the case may be, or they could be married to an immigrant. That's a lot of time where you see all these crash out videos coming from. But the fact is, everybody, including the Latinos, had an opportunity to have the coalition, especially the Black immigrants. They really had the opportunity from day one to come here, to join with FBA, and let's be unified. And even now, they're not a lot of them really calling for unity. They're kind of trying to shame us a little bit, but some of them saying unity, hey, we need to unify. But then you start finding all these videos where they like, hey, I'm not trying to be around Black Americans. I'll stay away from the Akata and all that sort of thing. I don't want to be around you. And all these videos keep coming up. That was a silly thing to do, to get on the internet and say those things when you need Black America. Now, I've always said Black immigrants can fix the problem a lot quicker than Asians and Latinos can. But they're going to have to come to the table, have some respect, and stop saying some of the things they're saying. Because even in the delineation movement, some of them are still run off at the mouth, calling us white, saying we desire whiteness, call us saying we have a white supremacy pipeline. That's not helping you. You're only going to make FBAs dig their feet deeper into delineation when you talk like that. Listen, if you do something, you make your girlfriend or your wife mad, do you go and you want to get back with her in the good graces of her? Do you go and just insult her and make her more mad with you? Or do you be nice? You bring her some flowers. You give her a nice card. You give it, you know what I'm saying? You try to be very sweet with her and try to, hopefully she'll forgive you and you get back in her good graces. No, nobody's going to go in and like, well, F her then, and go cuss her out. That's not what you're trying to do. When you're trying to get with somebody, that's not what you're going to do. But some of you on TikTok, you don't think very well. You're doing that. What you making FBAs dig they heal. And then, of course, these FBAs be saying this on TikTok or in the chat. Newsflash, I'm going to say something to FBAs and African and Caribbean immigrants. They're all white people in those chats behind profiles saying things to FBAs and saying they're Caribbean. Then there are white people that are going to say things to immigrants and say they're FBA.
Yep.
And just because a profile say they're FBA or their profile says they're an immigrant doesn't mean that they are.
Right.
I don't get involved in the mud with comments. I'll do more if the video come out. Like if somebody make a video and says something to a camera, I'm more willing to respond to that, not a comment, because I know that. That's why I don't engage a lot of comments even on my own platform. Because all kind of people say things, and these people, you know what I'm saying? Now, if I click their profile and they got their picture up and they got actual video of them talking, then I'll take it serious. That's always actually them talking. But other than that, no. Oh, these FBAs said in the chat, that could be a white person. White people love to get in the middle of Black folks going back and forth for something. Mm-hmm. And really, for me, how I look at the delineation movement it ain't nothing about no hatred. That's for sure. It's not. If you've seen the video on the stream, you know what I'm talking about. That lady, she have a hatred for foreigners. She really do. We ain't on that. We have never said nothing like that. We're just loving ourselves and prioritizing our FBA community. That's it. And that's all, folks. Like Looney Tunes.
Well, that's all.
And people have to recognize that if you want to get in good with FBAs, you need to be nice. Don't cuss us out. That's not a good way to try to fix things, right?
Right.
So stop trying to worm your way in. Stop trying and just fix things. If you're trying to get right with black folks, fix things. Fix it. Stop talking crazy. Stop looking down on it. Like, you can be mad all you want, but I promise you this.
Yeah.
You need FBAs a lot more than the other way around. So I know if it were me and I was an immigrant, I'm like, man, I'm good with it, man. Look, FBAs, I'm cool with y'all, man. We brothers. Like, look, yeah, I may be from here, or I may be first generation. We brothers, man. We in the trenches together. It's, I ain't with all that disrespectful stuff they talking about. I'm with y'all. And every immigrant that say that, we like, yeah, that's my brother right there. That's my sister right there. We all say that.
So
that's our brother. That's our sister. The ones that's with us. Not the ones that's against us. We don't claim them. I have not seen a brother or sister that's an immigrant that say, man, yeah, we that's my brothers and sisters right there. We rock with each other. I fight for, in this country what they fighting for. I haven't seen no person with common sense as FBA. They had a problem with it. Right. Never. Now, a whole lot of people say things in the chat. Who cares about that chat? What does people say on video and what people say outside? That's why I'm at with it. I can care less about that chat and what people be saying down there, because all kinds of people be coming down there. Like I said, a lot of white people come down there too, trying to cause mess. Please don't fall for that mess. But delineation is here. Y'all gonna have to break bread with FBAs and just get right with it. If not, well, it is what it is.
It is what it is, Uncle Phil. Thank you. All right, Lady Che, what's your thoughts on the truth about, like, are we the gatekeepers? First of all, are we the gatekeepers?
Gatekeepers of what?
Of black culture.
Yes.
And then the truth about policing African and Caribbean blackness.
They're the ones that push themselves over here.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that put their opinions in it.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that put their opinions in alignment. The ones that have that vitriol on their chest, they seem compelled to make themselves look bad, We got motherfucking tellers calling in places and they're ashamed to even admit where they're from originally.
Yeah.
That's really bad. Like, you're gonna get questioned, you're gonna get asked, we're gonna figure it out within 10 minutes or less.
Right.
So why be ashamed of where you fled from?
Right. Why are you ashamed of your homeland?
Gatekeeping. That's what tell us shit.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping. Yeah. TVA said we should make like a corporation about it, or incorporate it.
Yeah.
We're the gatekeeper of everything here in the United States and motherfuckers in other countries fight off of.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn right. It's about time we do that. We didn't have to do that. We didn't want to do that. You realize that it was forced upon us to do so, right?
Yeah.
This has been going on for a little bit, like a couple years. But it was forced upon us to delineate. When motherfuckers stopped acting like FBA didn't have a contribution to anything.
Mm-hmm. We didn't have no culture, remember?
Right. We had no culture. We didn't do nothing. We just slaves. I don't know what else.
Akatas.
So keep in mind, this ugly shit that you brought upon yourself, y'all forced us to delineate. A welcoming culture of people can be forced to turn their backs on the same motherfuckers they welcomed in.
Yep.
So yeah. Goddamn right we can't keep everything. And it's gonna keep happening. And it's not gonna stop because it took us 400 and some years to get to this point. It'll take another 400 and some years to come out of it. Goddamn right we're delineating. Mm-hmm. Delineation is probably the best thing Next will come segregation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We are stupid Americans to them. Exactly, twin.
They try to eat off of us still. They try to tell us what to do still.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones who can correct FBA is FBA.
Yep.
Not white supremacy.
Not tethers.
Not tethers. Not people with vitriol in their chests. Not haters. The only ones who can correct FBA is FBA.
Right.
The only ones who can check FBA are FBA
Mm-hmm.
brothers and sisters, and that's with like further dialogue. I mean, 90% of the time we're all pretty much in the same accord now. Getting the rest of our 43 million people on board, that's gonna be some time. It's gonna be some effort put into it. But yeah, goddamn right we should delineate. Goddamn right we gatekeeping. And you know, just because you see a motherfucker like this, I'll put this with the Pan Africanism stuff.
Yeah.
Just because you see a motherfucker with a red, black, and green flag, still, just keep in mind that the principles behind it are red for the blood that was spilled, the black for the race, and the fucking land that was robbed, green for the land that was stolen. You know, it don't always have to be what everybody makes it sound. But we do have to keep in mind that there was some fucking blood spilt on land and it was stolen.
Yeah.
Our race did go through some things. Went through hella whitewashing, went through hella mixing, hella fucking enslavement.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers are repurposed, resold, restolen, shifted around. We have lived through a lot. The Black Holocaust is still a real thing. It's still happening. We still play the black tax every day that we're alive.
Yeah.
So as long as we still know that those things are, that those principles have happened, those things have happened, you know, we are free to identify with whatever is going to serve our best interests. I think the main thing we need to focus on is making it codified.
Right.
Codify it. Codify, whatever to say.
Yeah, codify.
Mm-hmm. There you have it.
All right, thank you, Lady Che. So we're gonna keep delineating. You remember, y'all started the delineation first, because remember we thought that we was all one big African, and we said, "Oh, Africans for the Africans, and at home and abroad," like Marcus Garvey said. This Pan-Africanism, which now we call scam Africanism,
Right.
but it's been a scam. It's been a one-sided affair, and the rest of the diaspora refuses to get on code and get on board with what we're talking about. So we no longer am falling for the banana in the tailpipe. But you,
Sadly, y'all brought it upon yourself.
yeah, that's right, twin. So y'all can hold your own nuts at this point. We can't do it no more. We tried to do we all one big African, we are the world, we are the children, all of that, and y'all told us where we can go. So
Speaking of, it's 2025. If you wanted it to be something, why couldn't we have another? Did you remember when they came out with that song?
yeah, 85. Boom.
There hasn't been another one since.
Mm-mm. Shout out to Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson, the other FBA artists that were responsible for that. But we can't do it no more. Y'all want us to go build y'all shit up. Y'all won't build your own shit up. Y'all fleeing over here to be around us. The Akatas and the Nigerians. So no.
Hey, look, is it our fault? It's not our fault. Like, look, you know, y'all got bamboozled with Akon.
Oh, we gonna get on here.
As Akon shit. You know, it's not our fault. The motherfuckers went out there. He tried to get us to go out there and help him build.
Mm-hmm.
And look what happened.
Now Senegal said, "Where's my money? We
Senegal
taking the
took that
land back."
Mhm.
All right, so sticking on these damn tethers and first generation immigrants, we got first generation immigrants called FBAs white supremacists. The tetherosity, that's my
Wow.
word. I'm copyrighting it. I'm coining it. So if you hear anybody say tetherosity, you know they got it from Che and Krumah, Jesse Paris. The tetherosity of these people to call us white supremacists now. They want to police our blackness.
Oh, wow.
I know, twin. It's ridiculous. All right.
That's crazy talk right there.
So Uncle Phil's gonna give
Absolutely
us an update
diabolical.
on. Uncle Phil's gonna give us an update on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we always, every day, we're finding more and more videos of certain immigrants just losing their mind and crashing out about FBAs. Well, this one has taken it just to another level. This one is saying that we are, as Black Americans, that just say, hey, we want to respect our ancestors, we want to love our culture, and we got to stand on business for reparations. Now this one is saying that we have a white supremacist pipeline. I mean, like, I don't know what FBAs are doing as white supremacists in nature. I don't think this young lady even know what the hell she's talking about. But let's go ahead on and roll this one.
We need to talk about the rise in Black American nationalism and the Black American nationalist to white supremacist pipeline. Yes, white supremacist. So firstly, we've seen the Jay Versace tweet that's been resurfacing, and in response, I've seen like quite a few Black Americans make videos about that and say that you can always tell an African apart from an African American. Y'all are not like us, etc., etc. And before I even get too deep into that, I really want to ask you guys, what is the purpose of making that distinction? Why are you guys fighting so hard to make this distinction in 2025? Don't tell me that it's reparations, because that's a really stupid answer. And just to speak to that point, Africans are very diverse looking people. Yes, there are people you can look at them and tell they're African, just like you can look at some people and tell, oh, okay, that's a Black American person. But if you go and get Africans who were born and raised in America or who moved to America at a very young age, you probably will not be able to tell. Most of you cannot, because people can't tell with me. It's literally not until you say something or until somebody sees your last name that they're like, oh. And that honestly kind of brings me to my second point of this whole thing of Africans are cosplaying Black Americans. I don't really think you guys understand how silly you sound when you say this at times, but I think it really does speak to sometimes how Black Americans, when it comes to this particular subject, some of y'all can be a little bit narrow-minded in your thinking, because what do you mean we're cosplaying? If you're born and raised in a country, you're going to have the mannerisms of people in that country, especially if you're raised in a country like America where things are typically just straight segregated by race. Like, let's be real. So it's like, you're going to have and adopt the mannerisms of the people, you know, in your community, which for a lot of people who are African but born in America, that's going to be Black American people. Like, hello. And thirdly, which I think is honestly probably the most egregious, is I saw a Black American woman on here who was trying to say that what? She said that Africans, Latinos, and immigrants are the new colonizers. That's quite literally the term that she used. She says that Black American people and she included white Americans. She said Black American people and white American people who've been here for hundreds of years, whose families have been here, who came over from Germany and Ireland, who built this country. They built this country, and now people are trying to come over here and force their customs on them, et cetera, et cetera. And I saw her in the comments, literally liking comments saying white and Black Americans need to stick together. Like, do you see where it's not okay? Like, first of all, do you know what a colonizer really is? Like, let's not use that term lightly. Like, if you are claiming that your family has been here for all these hundreds of years and all this other stuff, girl, you should know the real history of colonization in this country, and you should know the real atrocity that it was, and not try to compare people who are literally coming over here peacefully to try to seek a better life for themselves, the new colonizers. That's very audacious and nasty.
Ooh, it's a lot to unpack here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's go on and get into it. First and foremost, yes, we can tell the difference with a lot of you. We can. One of the telltale signs, they say about you, ma'am, is your hairline. A lot of FBA sisters don't have that kind of hairline, right? Another telltale sign, you're wearing a Cameroon soccer jersey. Most Black Americans don't wear nothing related to soccer. They may wear something with the NFL. They may wear something with the NBA, right? But we're not wearing soccer jerseys that say Cameroon on it, right? So it's you kind of fitting, you kind of exposing yourself on that one. But to that's here nor there. But let's get to the what you wrote on that FBA to white supremacist pipeline. How are you going to compare foundational Black Americans to white supremacists? Show us what churches we have bombed. Show us how many people we have put on trees with ropes. Show us how many towns we have destroyed of any group of people, right? Show us that how we put people in slavery, Jim Crow, how we did any of this stuff. Show us how we did this. Because you're speaking in ignorance. And I know you've been to college. I'm hearing how you speak. So you're just literally trying to make something up in your mind. What is it with some of you trying to just come up with some wild ideas? It's just wild, the stuff that y'all saying. It don't even make sense. I mean, if you're going to talk about it, at least have a better argument than that, right? Now, when the person to comment said that, well, the immigrants are coming over colonizing, I'm going to explain to you what that comment is really saying. It's not focusing on Black immigrants, it's just immigration in general. Well, what the comment is saying is we have noticed that people from other countries coming to this country, they're flooding our neighborhoods, they're giving them resources, and they wanting us to speak their language and saying, oh, well, you know, you're going to come over here, you got to speak this language, that language. That's colonizing at that point. When you're forcing a group of people to speak a foreign language, or press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish, 3 for whatever, why we have to press 2 for anything? Oh, no, it should be 1. It shouldn't be 1. It should be just answer the doggone phone, right? That is colonization. That's what the colonizers did in your homeland. They came over, they made you speak English. They put their religion on you. Then they put their rules and laws on you. That's colonizing. Now, you worried about what people saying about how people look, how people don't look. That's not even really my biggest issue, what you're saying. But what you're trying to say is that, oh, Black nationalism. Show me the instances of Black nationalism. You can't have white supremacy and Black supremacy in the same space. That don't work. So you can't have white nationalism and Black nationalism. We are nowhere near close to any kind of Black nationalism. And if Black folks wanted to be on that, okay, let's say if they are. It's their country. It's their homeland. Just like in your homeland, ma'am. If y'all want to be on some sort of nationalism, what could we really do about it? That's your homeland. See, the issue is in the comment you made about, well, we come over here to make a better life for ourselves. Listen to what you just said. We come over here to make a better life for ourselves. You're not saying we're coming over here to contribute anything. We're coming over here to, like old girl said, to take. Because that's what that is. When you say I'm coming over here for a better life, that means you're coming to take. You're not coming to give anything. You're coming to take. Don't ever lead a conversation with us about, well, we come over here for a better life. Well, where could we go for a better life then? Everybody get to come, and then the better life you get came off of our backs. And then you got the nerve to say Black people, FBA to white supremacist pipeline. See, this is why a lot of Black people are not on immigration. Young sister, it's because of the comment you just made. You wouldn't be having the opportunity to sit in your car to say anything to Black people if it wasn't meant for the fight that we've done in this country. You would be in your homeland right now doing whatever you would be doing, but you'll be over there right now. Like all you immigrants, especially the Black immigrants, y'all should really be thinking that you know what? I wouldn't be here if it wouldn't been for FBAs. The white people didn't want you here. Not a single white person wanted any of you here. They wanted Europeans here from Europe. They didn't want you. They didn't want no African. They didn't want no Caribbean. They didn't want no Black Latino. They still don't want no Black Latino here. And yet y'all had the nerve to sit up here and constantly run your mouth. Maybe if y'all was trying to really work with FBAs and get and like I said from the beginning, we wouldn't be having this discussion. Delineation probably wouldn't even happen. But y'all chose to stay away from the Akata or the Jareer. Y'all chose to stay away from us, right? And that's where a lot of that came from. Then when Black people are staying away and Black people calling some things out, you know, when it comes to this unchecked immigration, like I said, the one who's grabbing your family up isn't FBA. It's white folk. Stephen Miller is white. He can't stand immigrants with a passion. He lived to see immigrants deported. Okay? Tom Homan, he's not a Black man.
Right.
Donald Trump is not a Black man.
Right.
They're the ones that's going after y'all. Why are you sitting in your car talking about us?
Right.
Like I said previously, the most you get out of us is talking and comments. That's it. We're not rounding y'all up. We don't have y'all in hiding as Black people. So why are you telling us anything? Go talk to the white folk that's doing those things to y'all. Leave us alone.
Right.
While you wasting your energy and time sitting in your car talking about us, you should be talking about ICE and what they got going on.
Right.
But you always don't want. You don't want to never tell them nothing. You don't want to tell them white folk nothing. You always coming over here and talking to us.
That's because they scared of white folk.
Because I guess that's a little easier thing for you to do. But you wasting your time talking to us. Because we ain't the one that you got to duck and dodge.
Right.
ICE is the one you're going to have to duck and dodge, and maybe you're not going to duck and dodge because you were born here. Or some of your people may have to duck and dodge. That, like I said, that's utterly ridiculous. You sitting in the country that my ancestors got you in, your parents in, and that's why you were born here. We're gonna say we are some sort of Black nationalists. That's why some Black people, those who aren't, really have my mindset, but that's why some Black people is like, hey man, I'm cool with ICE getting you out of here. When you make stupid comments like that, stop talking like that. I'm trying to help you.
Nothing wrong with Black nationalism.
Because if you piss Black people off more than what you're doing,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You don't have no help now, but you're really not gonna have any kind of help. Stop talking. Keep it to yourself. Calling Black people Black nationalists. I thought you would have more common sense than that, young lady. Like I say, you sound like you've been to college. You know what a white nationalist is. No such thing as a Black nationalist. Nothing. None. But anyway, y'all, it's every day they just saying some stupidity. But we're gonna keep calling it out because we have to. I thought I never heard in my life talking about FBA, the white supremacist pipeline. Lord gee.
That reminds me of what Joyce Reed was saying back when she was like, it was either her or the Griot, one of them Democratic shield commentators or networks, was like, Black men are the white men of Black society or some stupid shit. Now FBAs are Black nationalists. What's next? Will be terrorists next. Like, what the fuck?
Some of us.
Well, they already came up with BIEs, Black identity extremists. It's like, oh my god, these damn cheddars are ridiculous. Exactly. Absolutely, twin. Uncle Phil was right on point with that. What are your thoughts, Lady Shay, on?
My thing about Black nationalism, I'm all for it. Y'all heard me say I'm a Black nationalist. Let's shake and flake my thoughts, my message or whatever. But there's a difference between Black nationalism and what the whites do. You know, black nationalism has always been about empowering each other to be about each other. You know, to be for self. You know, to educate each other, to grow our own food, to be empowered. You know, that's what black nationalism is. You know, and it's about being black first. It's heavy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not like how they try to make it sound like it's a terroristic shit because you're about your people first, because you want to see black succeed, because you want to see black in power, because you want to see black excellence, black joy, black love, black everything. That there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a sense of pride.
Right.
Now, what they do is they use it in a racist way. You look at the white nationalists, the Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
They use it in a racist way. Look, there's a difference between racism and prejudice.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We can't be racist, but we can be prejudiced.
Right.
Right? They can be racist, not prejudiced.
Well, racism is prejudice plus institutional power to
So-
enforce your prejudice.
Thank you just for instigating against me. But what I'm saying is that, so I'm saying is that, like I'm saying, in my opinion, that's how I feel about it, right? And I could say I could be as prejudiced if I want to, because I can, because I will, because who gonna stop me, right? Or not that who gonna stop me, but I'm always up for that. I'm always up to test my fucking spirit. You dig me?
Yeah.
So the thing is that so what if we were on the off chance that there's only a handful of actual nationalists? Look at Malcolm X. He was a black nationalist.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And he was one of our greatest leaders.
Yeah.
Look at Hugh P. Newton.
Yeah.
That was black nationalist, right?
Yeah.
And these are the light skinned ones, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you just say this for a point. Was their message anything that nobody could get behind? No. Everyone could get behind what the message was. It's just whether they chose to believe in it or not. Right?
Mac 25 said he's prejudiced against Mexican food.
You should against gas. Anyway, but like I'm saying though, like I think that when other countries want to get involved in our mix, and they're showing their extreme prejudice by siding with the whites. Don't have an opinion. If you got a problem, take it up with the white people.
Right.
We've been doing it for a long time, and we saw what's getting us. Now we're taking a little break. Now it's your turn to take it up with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do something about it. But you can't keep crying to FBA people and act like we're going to save you or rescue you. We already know what it is. We've been fighting racism, white supremacy since fucking God knows when.
Yeah.
Yeah? Take it up with them. Hold your own nuts.
Right. Take it up with the colonizer, goddammit.
Yeah. Don't call us no colonizers, though.
Right.
If you don't see us fleeing to go colonize shit.
Right. All right. Thank you, Lady
Now,
Che.
colonizers don't come in our color.
Those are the neo-colonialists. All right. Thank you for those awesome words of wisdom, Lady Che.
Supposed to be empowered.
An empowering message and words of wisdom. So moving on to another tether, a big time tether, in fact, by the name of Myron Tether Gaines, otherwise known as Amrou Fudl, the Sudanian tether that's always talking bad about FBA. Well, a young brother decided to check him on his talking bad, talking down on us. And we're going to play that next. Hopefully I can find the damn video. I'm going to have to go to his punk ass page to find the video. Torian's going to give us an update on that. Amrou Fudl, I think that's how he pronounces it, gets cooked by young brother on product of environment discussion. This is Torian's reaction to what this dude said. While I'm playing this, I'm gonna try to find the video. I have to go to Punk Ass Myron Gaines channel to find it.
What's going on, y'all? Well, I'm back with another reaction style video, and as you can already see on the screen, it is Amrou Fudl. And I haven't watched this video yet, but from what I've read or in a caption where I downloaded the video from, apparently this young black man came in up and asked Myron this particular question. Now, the only part of the video that I heard was probably like the first maybe 5 to 10 seconds of a 3-minute in like 44-second video. And he was asking him about how controversial did he want to get, and he brought up something about IQ, and then I cut it and said, okay, let me go ahead and just do a reaction. So this is gonna be my first time reacting to the video. This might be your first time watching it. This is my first time talking about Fudl in a very, I wouldn't say a very long time, but in quite some time. And you can already tell just by the landscape of it. I mean, he's sitting down here, he's having, it looks like an outdoor event, and if you look at the sign next to him on the left, it says women should be in the kitchen, change my mind. I'm guessing maybe that's the topic. I'm not entirely sure, but let's go ahead and get into it.
Hey, yo, how controversial you trying to get right now? I mean, now what's up? How you feel about IQ?
Sorry.
IQ? Tell IQ. From here, son. Well, there's been some.
And one thing I always say, body language. If you notice the brother on the right who asked the question about race and IQ, because that's the topic right here, notice how he flicked around that tripod in his hand. That lets you know that he's ready for whatever Myron is about to throw at him, because he's probably heard every talking point Myron has said. And like I said, people like Myron, well, Amrou Fudl, are very easy to debunk, because if you do proper research, you can always come back at them with facts, even if they try to hit you back and try to say that you're wrong. Just stand your ground and be as honest and truthful as possible.
There have been some studies out there. There was actually a big meta-analysis on this. I think it's about
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, the volume's low.
In general, though, spit it
Myron.
And notice, and the thing is, let me just say that every time there's like a little pause, like a silent pause right there, that's not me editing. That's someone, maybe his editor or something like that, because he keeps cussing every other word. So that's why, you know, that's why it's blanking out like that. It's not a glitch on your end or mine, and that's something his editor or something he did. And notice the black guy is over there saying spit it out, because he can tell off the bat, off rip, Myron is about to say some BS. He's already started. He hasn't even been 5 seconds into the question being asked, and already he's spouting some nonsense. And this is a 3-minute and like 44-second video, so I can only guess what else he's going to say.
Asians then have views, followed by white people, then followed by Hispanics, and then Africans tend to have the lowest. And I can't argue with them numbers, but no.
Notice he said African. He didn't say black people. He said Africans. And notice and know where Amrou Fudl's parents come from. They come from the Sudan, and Sudan, last time I checked, is in Africa.
Oh, IQ study is the ever control department. Okay. So how can you? The answer is invalid. Like, the conclusions are invalid. They don't control for environment. Environment heavily affects IQ. Are you agreeing with me right now? Is that your argument? Wait, you changing your mind right now? So your argument is that
already the brother got him in a mind spur, not a mind spur, a whirlwind, in like a spin cycle. Think of your laundry. That's where he has him at already. See, the thing is, he probably took one look at this guy right here and thought he was going to have him on the ropes. But the thing is, looks can be deceiving. See, he may come up looking a particular way, and he may look like he's not intelligent just based on his appearance, but you'll be shocked by a lot of the people that, quote unquote, are in the hood or quote unquote ghetto or whatever you want to call it, but they are very intelligent. Is it that they probably just don't have the resources in order to get them further than where they are? But you'll be surprised by how many smart people who are very book smart live in the hood, but they also got street smarts too. And that's actually a perfect balance if it's balanced out correctly. Though that makes for what they call a dangerous type of individual right there. If you have book smarts and street smarts and you have them evenly balanced.
Your argument is basically that it's not controlled for environment, so therefore it's not valid? Exactly that. You agree? Wait, hold on. Did I just change your mind that fast? No, you didn't. Because I tell a podcast in the past where you said, and I ain't even mad at this, because I seen the studies too. Black people got the lowest IQ, Asians at the top, white people fall in the middle. None of those studies control for environment. You take somebody like me, for example, my environment, lead paint in the walls, lead in the water. That
environment. It's like, no, you're a human, you're able to make a decision, you have will, you're able to decide what you want to do. If you know,
how can you repeat?
And so the thing is, again, the brother has my Amrou on the ropes right now, and I'm gonna have to echo something that KG said, because this how I came across this post is KG reposted it on his Twitter account. The thing is with Amrou Fudl is that he hangs around a lot of quote unquote low IQ individuals, the same people, like the people he likes to say that we are. But you see the people he hangs with, or he tries to go in these spaces, like these all white spaces, and how they all get. Those are some low vibrational individuals, and he hangs around them all the time, and he spews their talking points. That's why when he gets confronted like this from someone who knows their stuff, he gets stuck. I mean, he's literally like speaking all over the place right now. He can't come up with a very coherent thing to the point where the brother is like, so you're basically agreeing with what I'm saying, and now Myron's going to try to squirm his way up out of it, and he can barely do that.
When all of the conclusions in those studies is false, when they don't control for environment.
Say that what?
How can you repeat that rhetoric? All of those studies, the conclusions are invalid because they don't control for environment. That's like
I don't know if that's true, bro. I don't know if that's true. What you're
so you don't
about.
think the lead in the paint in the walls in the neighborhoods I grew up in didn't affect how I grew
talking about is huge.
These people are in different conditions. That might affect the outcome of the numbers.
Okay, look.
I'm 2 for 2 right now.
Bro, you ain't 2 for nothing.
I'm 2 for 2,
bro.
And the thing is, the brother has not been rebutted on anything that he has said. For all we know, and I'm just speaking hypothetically, the brother could very well just be making something or pulling something out of his ass, out of the sky. But the thing is, Myron has such a very interesting and not so interesting at the same time scope of the world, especially when it comes to its Black people, and I'm talking about FBA in particular, that when things that are either presented as facts to him or something that could be presented as seemingly facts to him that may not even be completely true are put in front of him, he doesn't even know how to counter it. Basically, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, the brother is testing him. He's testing Amrou Fudl to see if he can back up all the stuff that he has said over time, especially about Black people. And he can't even do it. See, he's dealing with a person now that's not going to sit there and bow down and kiss his ring or kiss something else, who's going to just sit there and agree with him. And as you can see, Myron is being very tame right now. You know, usually he's always popping off, he's always going off, and I guess because I don't know if because he has a Black man that's standing in front of him and it's not a woman, because you know how he gets when there's women around and how boisterous and loud he gets. I mean, just look at how he has been on his podcast over the years, and that'll show you. But notice the energy changes when a Black man is presented in front of him, and you can look at this and tell that this Black man is younger, way younger than him. Myron is like a year older than me. This guy right here looks like he's in his 20s, and he's schooling him right now, and he's barely cooking with hot grease. That's the crazy part about it. He's being very, I'm not gonna say surface level with it, but he's almost a little bit above surface level with his talking points, but he's going beneath the surface at the same time. And Amrou hasn't even touched the surface yet.
Like, bro, you're not 2 for nothing, bro. Like, the reality is you're over here saying, oh, it doesn't account for society. This is a meta-analysis between hundreds of studies on IQ from people all across the world.
And he hasn't produced one stat to back up them studies, and he won't do it.
And what they found is, here's the bottom line, bro. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line is this. Asians score the highest, whites score second highest, Latinos are behind them, and Blacks tend to be at the bottom. If you don't like that, it is what it is, but that's the fact, okay? Now
That's his fact. But see, if I was a brother, I would have asked him, can you produce the studies to back this up? Like, tell me where to go. As a matter of fact, you have a phone. Can you look this up right now and produce on your stream right now this stuff to back you up? And then he kept saying something around the world. He wasn't talking about, I don't think the brother was talking about the world. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he was talking about the world. I think he might have been talking about here. But notice he had to go and say the world. But if he wants to, if Amrou Fudl wants to talk about some stats or whatever, I would have asked him to bring that up on your phone right now and produce it on this stream, because he's on a stream. And I would want to see in black and white to back up whatever it is that you're saying. Because anyone could just say something like that and people will believe it. I mean, you don't believe me? Just look at his chat that's scrolling on the side. But you know, those individuals, that's his echo chamber, so they're going to believe anything he says. Myron can say the sky is red, and they'll say, oh, you know what? I didn't think of that before. You know, all my life they've been telling me it's blue. Every time I looked up in the sky, it did look blue. But you know, since you said that it's red, you know, you might be on to something. A bunch of idiots.
You can go ahead and talk about why or product of environment or make excuses, but the facts are the facts, bro. Like, that's what it is.
Excuse is a fact of reality.
Because you're literally making excuses saying, well, oh, they didn't account for this or they didn't account for that. When in they probably did, right? And you're just making excuses for why low.
The reason I bring it up is it's a lot
and
of
here's
people,
the other thing too. Like, you gotta install
football,
football,
it's people who you
so
cool with,
who
use those studies about some crazy ass, like saying no black people should be in this country. Like, I'm talking about like this shit like that, right? Those studies aren't even valid. You agree with me on control for environment?
And he did. And the thing is, Amrou Fudl did agree with him, or at least he started to. Like right there at the beginning, you just look at his face. He looked like, wow, he might be on to something. And then he had to almost snap back into his own reality that's not even real and say, oh, wait a minute, that's not what I was going to say. Almost like he was glitching.
It's
I don't
a lot of people who
you're right on that. That
people like me shouldn't exist in this country because of those studies.
I don't think that
it's damn near impossible to control for environment. You're pulling people from all these different places.
Bruh.
It's so simple, bro.
It's a meta-analysis of different studies from different times, different areas, etc. And the conclusion is basically every single time. Look, the truth is the truth, bro. Like, you might.
That's all he can say is the truth is true, and what he's saying isn't even remotely true. But going back to what KG said on his caption above this video that I found, when you have a person like him that goes around a lot of people who are very low vibrational thinking or low IQ thinking individuals, this is what happens to you. Because see, the thing is, he's around them, so they're in an echo chamber, so they're saying things to each other to make themselves feel like they're very intelligent when they're not. But when you get out of that echo chamber and you get confronted by people like this brother right here on the right, then that's when, and then on top of that, you're on your own and you have to defend whatever it is that you always say. The type of response that Amrou is giving is what's going to be given. And then he's up there sitting there looking like a fool, and he gets reassurance of himself or whatever it is that he says by whatever people are saying right there in that chat. But the thing is, the chat is not a reflection of, well, maybe they are a reflection of his IQ.
And not like it, you might say, well, this is why, but the truth is still the truth. You can pontificate as to why it's like that. You can make excuses about the water.
I'm cool with the numbers, bro. I'm cool with being on the bottom of the scoreboard. I'm just saying the game ain't fair.
All right, so there you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. That was the interaction that Myron Amrou Fudl had with this individual right here. Again, shout out to him for standing his ground and confronting Myron in a way that he needs to be confronted, because again, I can't even really put more into words. This dude right here, and I always tell people, be wary of the person who thinks they are the smartest person in the world, the person that will never admit when they're wrong. And because these are the type of people that are not, they're dangerous. I'll put it like that. When you are dealing with a person who thinks they are the smartest person in the room and they are never wrong, they have a wild mindset, as we have seen with him over the years, which would explain why he has been banned on both various social media platforms, why he's been demonetized on here or demonetized on several other platforms. And he has to play grift hopscotch from various platforms in order to still continue his grift. Hence why he's here, right here, having this outside or outdoor thing, which again is something that's not even original either, because they all tend to do it. You see him do it. You got Charlie Kirk do it. I'm sure Fakem does it as well. It's wild to me. But again, kudos to the young brother for bringing this to his attention. Again, like I said, what the brother was saying could have been complete BS. Not saying that it was or it wasn't, but in my opinion, he was testing Amrou Fudl to see what he would say based on things he said in the past. He even said in the video that I've watched you say certain things in the past, and what you're saying right here does not line up with what you said back then based on what I'm asking you right now. And it never does, because they constantly switch up all the time. So again, they tell so many lies that they forget the first one that they told, because they're already on like a lie 1000. So there you have it. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.
I gotta say, shout out to that brother for giving Myron that work. Salute to the young man. And Myron got checked twice. And the brother was cooking.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Lady Chair?
Yeah, Myron should get checked every time somebody sees him.
Right.
He's trash. I mean, like, he deserves it. And I think he likes it. I mean, why else would he do what he does?
Right.
So, yeah.
I want to show you.
He should get checked every time.
Mm-hmm. I agree, Lady Chair. I agree. All right. So we're on to the next topic. And that is Ghana. Ghana draws the line where Nigerians are being pushed out, or why Nigerians are being pushed out of Ghana. So I'm still going to give us an update on that.
I realize there's a scam going on.
From November 14th to 21st, we're inviting you to join us for a powerful trip to Ghana.
No.
That matters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the stream tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure those of you at least on YouTube for now, make sure you go ahead on and subscribe to the channel. And those of you on the app right now, I think I see Michael down there on the app. I see you. Now, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to do some of the stream tonight here on YouTube, and then we're going to cut off and get into some of the more harder hitting videos I want to show y'all that I got to show y'all tonight that can't be shown here on this platform. And also on the app, I'm gonna show y'all the we just got the new intro for Slay Queen Nigeria. I want to show y'all that, and y'all tell me what y'all think about that. But that'll be on the app. So I'll let y'all know when we're switching over to the app. We'll end it here, and then we'll just continue on the app. All right. So I don't want to take much of your time. Just Ghana trip, as you know, is coming up. We only have 10 spots left. Only 10 spots left, ladies and gentlemen. Only 10 spots left. Jump on it right now. Get your spot. For the Ghana trip. It's $199 down, and you can pay payments on that, and so secure it so you can go with us. Like I said, I don't know how quick that's going to go, but there's only 10 spots left, ladies and gentlemen. Also, like I said, to join us on the rest of the stream tonight, you have to be on the African Diaspora News Channel app. If you're already there, shout out to you. Like I said, I see some of y'all already there right now. But let's go ahead on and get into it, because I don't want to take much of your time, because we got an ending time that we have to do here on YouTube so we can continue. So let's get to it. All right. So, you know, a lot of people been telling the FBAs that you need to, y'all just need to unify. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. This delineation stuff is so divisive, and I don't know, this isn't right. Everybody's been getting on the FBAs about just coming together, unity coming together, right? Okay, cool, no problem. Well, let's go to Ghana. Ghana has a problem right now, and they've been having a major problem. And I kind of briefly touched on this a little bit. And it's not just Ghana. Now, I'm going to get into South Africa, but I'm going to do that on the app, okay? But that's a video that went viral over there that, it would lead right into this topic. So in Ghana, as I touched last night, they have a guy called himself the Igbo King, been living there for 30 years, married to a guy named Woman. Got some land, talking about he gonna make some things for Nigerians. The Nigerians, was all excited about that. They, from what they were hearing, they immigrated there, been kind of making comments about the Ghanaians, all of that. So the Ghanaians want their behind out. They want them to go back to their homeland, go do what you gotta do over there. Now I want to play just some clips of two Ghanaians speaking on this issue, but then I have some questions to ask, because we always told to come together and be in unity, but why nobody else is told to come together and be in unity? Let's go ahead and cue this up, and let's go ahead and check this out.
And if you are objective enough, you concur with these facts, ladies and gentlemen. But a large percentage of the people of this country have chosen a pathway that cannot be encouraged, whether in Ghana, in South Africa, or in any part of the world. And this is what they have done. Ladies and gentlemen, they have given up on the fight to fix their own country and resorted to looking for what they couldn't achieve or cannot achieve in their own country, in other people's countries. And ladies and gentlemen, this shouldn't have been a problem because every other African country actually does it, except that they are looking for this success by any means necessary and in the shortest possible time. This is the canker that plagues majority of young Nigerian immigrants anywhere they go. Shockingly, ladies and gentlemen, they are of the view that people outside of their country are not as driven and aggressive towards becoming successful as they are, not knowing that it is those same tendencies that's made their country the mess it is in.
Now, I'm gonna continue with this brother. Now you hear what he's saying, okay? He's saying, look, they came over to Ghana. They didn't just done some things they had no business in Ghana, right? And he's mostly talking about the males because I'm seeing from what I'm seeing, the males is the one that's causing a lot of the issues. Or I don't really hear women too much, but it's the men, okay? I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying some of them are causing issues and problems. Now, when FBA say, hey, people need to go back to their homeland and fix their issues in their homeland, what are we told? We're told we're being xenophobic. We're sounding white supremacist. We're sounding this, that, and the third. Oh, you hate immigrants. But this brother just say, hey, you need to go back to your homeland, fix that over there. If you want to be aggressive, do it over there in your homeland. Don't do it over here in Ghana. I can't say nothing about that. If somebody lets you into their house, you need to be nice. You need to follow the rules. Whatever. I won't go to Ghana being disrespectful. I'm not going to talk down on Ghanaian people. If they let me in the door, I'm going to come with respect. I was raised that way by my FBA family in the South. You always speak, you be nice, you be respectful. If you don't have nothing nice to say, you shut up. If you think you can't be around people, go somewhere else. Right? That's the way I was raised. So any country that I've ever been to, I've always came there with humility and respect, because that's the way most of us FBAs were raised, okay? So this man say, you coming over here, you need to go back to your homeland, all right? But he's not being called, people that speak in that way are not being called xenophobic, not saying they need to unify, but FBAs are being told this. Now what he's saying, if they doing all the things that he's talking about, I mean, I can't say nothing about that. That's his homeland. Ghana is his homeland. Let's go ahead and continue.
Many of them are therefore driven into all sorts of illegal enterprises anywhere they settle. Getting rich by all means necessary in the shortest possible time. This is what Nigeria is being known for now. Who doesn't want this? But is that acceptable? It has gotten to the point that they don't care how a person makes their money, so long as the person makes their money. But you and I know that that's not how it's understood in other places. Nigeria, your people are running from your country as though the entire country is at war. Both men and women, young and old, to every other country. You have now become Africa's most emigrated country, meaning you have the largest number of people living abroad compared to any other African countries. This was true 20 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, and same today, and the number isn't slowing down because the factors that causes this is still expanding. Your social media content creators who indulge in politics are either doing it with comedy to trivialize the repercussions of their words, or are doing it outside of your country for fear of their lives. Almost every well-meaning person who speaks truth to issues in Nigeria lives outside of Nigeria. Fear and terror have hijacked your country at every front. There is no non-politician fighting for the change that can bring a difference in your country anymore. Almost every relevant voice in your country is either silenced or paid at this point. Therefore, the fight other countries have to put in to attain the peace you see and desire is what you have denied and declined. It doesn't work like this, Nigeria. Nigeria, instead of trying to make yourselves relevant in other countries, instead of trying to insert yourselves into the social fabric of other countries by all means necessary. How about this? How about you go back home and build your country? You have a country that could use a lot of the smart people. How be it, ladies and gentlemen, that the ones who claim to be smart are leaving or have left the country? Ladies and gentlemen, who have they left behind? How will you build your country like this? You have abandoned your country to politicians and cabals whose interest is similar actually to yours. And here's my explanation to that. Similar to yours in the sense that these politicians and cabals have conquered the country and now enjoy the monopoly of their powers and will hold on to it by any means necessary as long as they can. And that same spirit, ladies and gentlemen, is what most young Nigerians carry around to other countries. Are you any different, if I may ask? You want to dominate and entrench your dominion by all means necessary in the country you've moved to for as long as you can, just like your politicians and your cabals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the chaos in your country, and the same chaos is being exported to other African countries and to most parts of the world.
All right, so now, is that xenophobia, what he just said? Is that meaning he hates people? Why isn't he being told to unify, to put all issues aside to unify?
Yeah.
When FBAs point out disrespect, because he's also pointing out a lot of disrespect. He said they come over to Ghana being disrespectful, and then he's saying, well, look, and then so there's the reports are some of them are feeling arrogant toward Ghanaians, and so they're saying, well, look, if you feel kind of arrogant, you think you better, or whatever the case may be, take your happy self to your homeland and go do it over there, and then that way show us what's up, brother. But when we say the same thing, when people be disrespectful, only when they're disrespectful. Not all Nigerians are disrespectful in Ghana. That's not true. But he's talking about the ones that are, okay? So like here, not all immigrants are disrespectful here, but the ones that are. When we say, hey, bro, we good. You need to go over there with your homeland and handle that. We're going to just delineate also while we're here. We've been called every other name. So it seems like FBAs are the only people that's told to unify, to not say anything, to not do whatever. But in the African continent, they quick to tell you go back to your homeland. I told y'all that. I told y'all they don't play that in the African continent. You go over there doing something, they was ride down on you. They'll tear down your business. They'll do whatever. They'll put hands on you. You know what I'm saying? To get you up on out of that country. FBAs haven't put a hand on nobody. Once again, we're talking online, right? We're writing comments. We're not doing nothing more than that. We're delineated. We're minding our business. Why is it that the people in Ghana and anybody else who don't want Nigerians around, especially the Nigerian men, why no one is told to unify, to put the unity as we all black? Why they wasn't told that, hey, y'all all black. Y'all should be getting along, y'all all black. Where's the all black talk? That's only come to us as FBAs. Have you noticed that? Now, there's a Ghanaian woman that was kind of hot too, even though she immigrated somewhere else, I think the UK. But I want you to listen to what she has to say, because she ain't pleased either.
Nigerians, let's talk. I think you guys collectively need to come together and realize that you are the common denominator. As in, all these countries that are coming together to ban you, to get rid of you, to not want you in their country, we are not all going mad. You guys need to finally accept that you are the toxic that we are all trying to get away from. And I understand that it sounds like I am generalizing right now. And I'm really not. Unfortunately, the bad apples are doing too much that we cannot see the good apples anymore. We cannot see the good ones anymore because the bad ones are just so many. And so now it is either the good ones are holding the bad ones accountable for completely ruining your integrity and your name, or you guys just stay in your countries. Bear in mind that we have all traveled to find greener pastures elsewhere. I am Ghanaian, but I'm not in Ghana right now. But guess what I do? I obey the rules, the laws, and the regulations in the land that I am in. And that is what most people do. I am not saying that there are no bad Ghanaians out there, but it seems to be Nigerians who are making Africa become this highlighted toxicity that nobody wants to deal with. You have now been banned from Dubai, America, South Africa, and Ghanaians are now trying to get rid of you guys. You cannot go into somebody else's land and try to assert your dominance through arrogance. Just because you're the loudest in the room doesn't mean that you are right. Even when a Nigerian is making a video complimenting Ghana, there is still an insult in there. Small Ghana, come and see how their currency holds so much value. Small Ghana, come and see how you can go outside without feeling any threat of being kidnapped. Small Ghana, come and see how there is electricity anywhere. Even in your compliments, it is still rooted in insults and arrogance and disrespect. You want to look down on everybody else around you, and I seriously don't know who accredited you with the certification of Giants of Africa, but it has really gone into a lot of your heads.
All right, so that's a Ghanaian woman, and she's not too happy either. Now, where's all that unity talk that's being told? Where's that we all black? Why are you separating yourself? Hey, y'all in the motherland, right? So y'all really should be getting along, right? I know good and well it's not like that. Everybody's in their own country. Everybody's in their own culture. If you come over there being disrespectful, it's going to be a problem. But they're not told anything, only us. So even if we just delineate, we're beat down on, we have to sit up here and take everybody's disrespect. We have to deal with everybody. And if we say, hey, we're not going to deal with that no more, respect is, hey, we got to respect each other, then we're wrong. We're being white people now, right? Because we demanding respect. We're being white people. Well, by that logic, that means the Ghanaians are being white too. And then that's very stupid to say that somebody's being white. So in your silly mind with this white validation that you have, a white superiority, you feel that the only people that should be respected is white people, and if black people, FBA in particular, say, hey, we demand respect, we're mimicking white people. That says a lot about you, really. Don't say a lot about us.
You really don't know us.
So we're supposed to just sit up here and just let everybody walk over us and everybody get up on our case. We shouldn't defend our culture. We shouldn't defend our heritage. We shouldn't do anything. And like I said, I'm with the Ghanaians. I'm with them. That's the thing. I'm with them, because if you coming over and being disrespectful, then you need to go back to your homeland. I don't care where you go, right? South Africa has an issue big time with people coming over. And there's a lot of stories about Nigerians in South Africa too. I see some people saying that kidnappings are happening in Ghana, and they're blaming Nigerians. I'm just saying what people are saying. They're talking about drugs. They're talking about prostitution, human trafficking. They're talking about all these different things that's coming along. South Africa is saying the same thing. So, but my issue is nobody's telling South Africans to unify. Nobody's telling South Africans about Pan-Africanism. If anybody should have Pan-Africanism, it should be Africans, right? Not what we do here in America, but them, because they actually on the African continent. But I want y'all to pay attention to that. So when they bring this stuff to you about unity and we all black, then say, doggone it. Well, you go tell Ghana that, you go tell South Africa that, you go tell Kenya that, you go tell all them other countries that we all black. Go tell Rwanda that, go tell them all that we all black. Rwanda and the Congo been going back and forth. Tell them y'all black. Stop doing that. You need to come together in the unity. Nobody over there you want to hear nothing about no we all black. So in your homeland, in your home continent, they don't want to hear nothing about being black. Then why in the world you bringing it to us? Because we the only group that really, well, us and black South Africans. I'm gonna say that they label themselves as black. Black Americans and black South Africans, y'all always just bringing that we all black stuff. Okay, so I just wanted to show y'all that, and I got some other videos I want to show y'all. Oh, I got one out of South Africa. That's really something. I'm gonna show y'all, but that's gonna be on the app. But I want to hear the explanation about this. I'm talking about those who are telling something to FBAs who could be immigrants. Where's the conversation for them? And this is the thing. Y'all know what's going on in the continent way more than a lot of black people do. Y'all know about the tribal beefs. Y'all know about what this one do and what that one do. And don't address it. You don't even say a word about it. We do not have anything that's happened to Black America like the Rwandan genocide.
Right.
1 million people killed because two ethnic groups are battling it out.
The Hutus and the Tutsis.
We have never did that as FBAs. Never. Sure, we got problems with each other. Yeah, we may fight. Sometimes it's on some street business and some gunplay. But just, hey, we just slaughtering each other? No, we have not done that. I mean, the first time I watched the movie Hotel Rwanda, I was like, what? What are they doing? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, they all Black. Why are they doing that to each other? But at the time, I didn't understand. They don't think like we all Black. They say, no. He's different than me. He's a different tribe. He didn't look at we all Black. And that's what really, the first time I saw Hotel Rwanda, that messed my mind up. I'm like, how can Black people do that to each other? That doesn't make sense. Like, you're doing that to your brother. But that's how we were reared. Because in this country, Black people had to stick together. As a survival mechanism, we didn't have the luxury of separating like that. Now, you say Nigeria's divided in 3 parts and they hate each other. Yes, I know that. And that was done by design, actually. When the white folks, the British, did that, they knew exactly where those people were at, because those people actually own lands, right? So those three, the Yoruba, the Igbo, and I think it's the Hausa or Hausa, Fulani, all them different people, they was kind of like in their own little areas. And when the white people did, they said, okay, they knew all of them had little beefs, but as long as they stayed in their little area, they was cool. White people put all of them together into one country, say, oh, nah, it's Nigeria. And yet you got these 3 people that never really got along too well. So that's why they really have a lot of problems in Nigeria, because of colonizer. Because when that land wasn't no Nigeria and everybody just kind of on the land, because the land was for everybody, right? It wasn't like until the white man came and talking about borders and buying property and fences and walls. That's the white man come up with that. Even Native Americans here, they didn't do that. This is my private property. No, they said the land is for everybody. The water's for everybody. Hey, okay, we on this side of the land. This is what we got. We using it. And then, okay, a lot of times we're going to move where the animals move. Okay, we got to eat. Or we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Most tribes are nomadic, even over here. Right? So it's when the white man came in, he did all that. So when you see them kind of lines that's put up, because ask yourself that question, on the African continent, why those borders look like that? Now, the problem is the white man can put the borders up, but they continued the borders under their rule. That's why Julius Malema was talking about a borderless Africa. That's why he was saying that. But in his country, they don't want to hear no talk about no borderless Africa. Not his country. No, Lord. That's why a lot of them don't vote for him, because they feel like he gonna let too many immigrants in. That's how a lot of them feel. They don't want immigrants. Now, they're not talking about a gang of FB, but my only issue with South Africa, and I'm gonna keep saying that. Okay, cool. Be on the immigration thing, but y'all not in Cape Town over there stirring nothing up. And I'm gonna keep saying that. There's a lot of illegal white people. I think they came out with a figure of 1 million illegal white people in South Africa. And I haven't seen Operation Dadula or none of them in Cape Town running them whites out, closing their businesses down. That's my only issue with them, is that until I see you at them white businesses shutting them down, getting their happy self out of South Africa, then I'm gonna say, okay, all right, I can respect it. I can't respect if you're gonna just target the Black ones, but not target the illegal whites. That's the only thing I'm saying with that. You said Thandis was, I think you're South African. Say, who will be paying for health care? Who paying for the white people health care? Because they're illegal too. They are illegal. You have white illegals in South Africa. And I'm just saying, I think Operation Dadula needs to go to Cape Town and clean house. Get all them, stop them white people and everywhere they go and say, hey, oh, you got paperwork? You legally here? Do the same thing you're doing in Johannesburg. I'm not telling you nothing. It's your land. I'm just saying, get them too. Matter of fact, you should be getting them first, actually. You don't want to get the black, get them. Get them. There's a lot of illegals over there taking jobs away from black South Africans. Listen, Cape Town, I've been there. It was kind of depressing. Because them folks really think they running things down there. And they want to be racist. They didn't do it to me, but I seen how they were with black South Africans and with our colored people. I seen it. I'm just saying Operation Dadula, go to Cape Town and regulate. That's the only thing I'm saying. That's it. That's it. Like I said, that's my only gripe about that. Okay? All right. And you say you understand that, and that's why I am saying all the illegals. Oh, okay. All right. I got you. So I want to see on Newsroom Africa, Operation Dadula and whoever else. What's her name? Victoria Africa. That's her page. I want to see y'all in Cape Town. I want to see them videos. I'll cover them myself. If I see y'all in Cape Town, right? Hey, checking them too. I promise you, I will cover it myself. And I'll give you a hand clap. I say, you know what? That should have been happening a long time ago. There's a lot of illegal white folk in Cape Town. A lot of them. Taking jobs, taking everything too. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right. So speaking of South Africa, glad we mentioned South Africa. I want to play a video from South Africa because this one lady is very serious about foreigners. But I'm not doing that here on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead on and play the rest of the stream on the app. So make sure to, if you're not on the app, subscribe to the app. Go over there and check it out. Make sure to check out LaSherica at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, AfroWire AI. So we're going to switch over to the app and get into the lady with South Africa that kind of went viral. But we check y'all in.
That they may or may have, that they express. And this goes to all you conservative Negroes that are Nicc Fuentes fans. Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, does he say some things that I agree with sometimes? Well, yeah, he does, but fuck him. Black Americans are conservative. We've always been conservative. We've always been conservative people. Frederick Douglass was, Martin Luther King was. We're conservative. We conserve our values. We just have a different value system than them. We're both conservatives. We, however, have different values on what we conserve. We're conservative about our culture. We're conservative about about a lot of things that we deal with, especially with conservative whites when it comes to government. Only the primary core difference between conservative blacks and conservative Republicans is conservative Republicans, they hate federal politics because they want federal politics out the way so they can fuck us over. We're conservative, but we want federal politics to help protect us because the states oftentimes don't. That's the key divide between the black conservative and the white conservative. Outside of government, because government stole from us, we tend to want government to give back what they stole. White conservatives tend to want government removed, except for when it's their time to steal. You see how that works? Yep. They want all the shit, the welfare, all that stuff. When it's their turn to steal, it's good. Black people are like, look, we get it, you know, cool.
Oops, I skipped ahead, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that was on top of this.
What happened to Akon City? I've been reading. So can you dispel any of that?
What I can is the Akon City attack is under Akon City project is under attack.
Okay.
The impact that it's going to do for Africa is kind of shaking up a lot of agendas. So you're going to see a lot of misinformation on the internet, and I would advise that you know that it's untrue. But for the most part, the project is a city, so it's not going to stop. It's continuing. This building right here, you know how long it takes to build this one building?
Right.
I'm talking about a city.
Okay.
So just know it's a lot of misinformation that's happening. And when you're doing something that big in Africa, specifically with all these agendas tied to it, They're going to try to discredit it for it not to happen. I just need people to be more wise and know that a project like this don't happen overnight.
But you have not abandoned that project. You're staying in here.
My purpose is to develop Africa. And that project is part of development.
Have any rappers asked to join in on this city? Because you know, a lot of Americans are.
But I don't want to mention them and they become a product of attack as well. Is that
officially paving the way for this bold vision to become a reality? By now, the city was supposed to have roads, a hospital, a shopping mall, hotels, a police station, a school, but today it looks like this. The project was the brainchild of none other than Akon, the world-famous R&B artist, started. So let's try to break this down as easy as we can with a timeline. It starts in 2020 when Akon lays down the foundation stone for Akon City. 2022, nothing significant has been built. 2023, the land is still empty, except for this half-built welcome center. In 2024, still nothing, except for one major thing. Pressure.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UP TV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in as it was breaking news everywhere last week that the city, Akon City, that he was promoting specifically to Black Americans, saying that it was going to be better for us, there was going to be endless opportunities, all the resources was going to be there, we wasn't going to have to deal with racism. What are we doing still over here, complaining and whining and all that, had officially came to an end, as there was already rumors on the internet that nothing had been built there, nothing had been done. There's several people making videos and short docs, people going over there saying, hey, Akon ain't even started building this stuff yet, but he coming over here to America, making everybody think it's all cool and smooth and this is the right thing to do. But now when that news came out, this is Akon first time speaking, as y'all heard right there on TMZ. And now I had a link in the description where y'all can watch that in full, and also the video from Asa Park, which is just one of those documentaries, straight to the point, straightforward, and he has some allegations and accusations that people have been pushing out there. I cannot confirm, but allegedly Akon did an Acoin play out there where people bought into the Bitcoin for the new city with the Wakanda package that he was pushing, thinking that everything was going to be all right and straight. We believing in what Akon is doing. He had a success with the solar energy stuff out there, so people bought into it. But as Asa Park put, man, hey, bro, you ain't got nothing over there. Now it's people running and taking photos, shooting videos and saying what's going on. On top of the fact, like homie said, bro, it take more than $6 billion to build a high-level futuristic city. $6 billion ain't gonna cut it at all. So what you really pushing don't make no sense. But this is the thing that I will say with Akon, that he's done incorrectly when it comes to me and how I perceive and receive things with these type of promotions being done, where it sounds like, bro, you ain't moving transparent at all. When he comes on here and tells Black Americans that, hey, it's going to be better for y'all over here. This is where y'all need to go. This is the best spot. Y'all are going to deal with this racism. Y'all are hurting your own selves and doing this by staying over here. And it's like, well, hold on, bro. If that's the case, why in the world are you not over there living and having everything up and running? Why are you not showing us the progress? Why are you not showing us what's done? You want us to buy into your dream, but you ain't gave us no real full vision. You only gave us opinions, and those opinions are talking down to us. Akon, keeping it all the way 1,000, because there are a lot of Africans who are leaving their countries in the continent of Africa and coming to America. Why are they not moving? A lot of them not moving because we have a lot of Africans. If people from the continent of Africa, if Africa is so good, why are there so many Africans that didn't move to other countries in Africa? Why did they come all the way to America if there's so many resources and opportunity in Africa? We know they got rich cities in one of these countries. Some of these countries, not one. Some of these countries and cities in Africa are very, very, very affluent. They have nice houses. They have nice cars. They have all the things that we have over here. So why in the world is the people from Africa still choosing to come over here from different countries? That don't make no sense at all when you push it to us and we use our brain. On top of the fact, when Akon came out earlier this year, he went and did 2 interviews. As I told y'all, This was back in April, May. They dropped on May 1st. He went on Bag Fuel and he went on Bootleg Kev and said that the cities was coming, said that people who had doubted him and counting them out was going to look stupid in the end. He was going to show them, and he said the people are just trying to block him. But then a couple months after that, we hear that, nah, it's scrapped. Then when you go look it up, they was already saying no payments last summer. They was already giving you warnings, giving you final notices. The companies were saying, well, hey, we haven't been reimbursed. All he has is this one building here after all this time. So what do we got going on now? So you're still coming on here today. Oh, it's coming. They trying to sabotage me. Y'all gonna see this one building don't be built, but you only got one. Bro, you ain't got no complexes. You ain't got nothing. Out of all this time, you can't show us no photo of no type of progress. That's all you got in that many years? Nah, bro, if you want people to still believe in you, you're going to have to show us something. You ain't showed us nothing. You got other allegations with this. I can't confirm those. I'm not the detective. I'm not the investigator. I'm only getting it secondhand from these people on the internet. It's a lot of them there. But I ain't going to lie, it ain't looking too good for you, Akon. But I tell you like this, when it comes to Black Americans, my nigga, in America, we have fought in every war. We have contributed everything to this country. A lot of our people were here already before the colonizers came. This is our land, my nigga. We don't have to go nowhere else. We got moguls here. We got college graduates here. We got homeowners here, business owners here. Some of us, some people are in poverty, but people in poverty all the way over the world. But people come over to America and try to talk down to us and tell us what we need to be doing. Well, hold on, my nigga. We've been here for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We've been here for half a millennium and counting plus. So why do we need to be worried about another country and what they got going on? Now, if it works for you and it makes sense for you as a person, then yeah, go to where you move to. Even people from Africa, people in Africa that feel like this is better for them or it's better for them to stay over there, that's their choice. But don't try to shame us into going to be a part of a plan to go build something else up. We done built this, nigga. We built the houses. We built the economy. We support every piece of the economy. We made it possible for everybody to be welcome here. We pushed for liberty. They didn't give us none of this, nigga. Our ancestors fought and died and forced their hand with this. They didn't do none of this out of no nice gesture, my nigga. They warred for this. So let's get this overstood and confused on how niggas is speaking now, Akon. Let's keep it all the way 1,000. Tell me what y'all think. Akon, like you got some showing and proving. If Akon, it sounds like you're lying, nigga. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000. You sound like a nasty nigga right now. But if you come out, I'll come through and apologize. Hey, bro, because right now I don't believe you, Akon. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000. If you can prove me that you're not a nasty nigga or put it at the facts up there, I'll come back on here and apologize like a man. But right now, no, sir. Get your act together. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1,000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.
Sorry, y'all. This shit keep crashing. One more topic for y'all, and that is Candace Owens gets checked by Nicc Fuentes.
What happened to Akon City? I've been reading. So can you, dispel any rumors? People are saying that
to want government to give back what they stole. White conservatives tend to want government removed, except for when it's their time to steal. You see how that works? They want all the shit, the welfare, all that stuff. When it's their turn to steal, it's good. Black people are like, look, we get it, you know, cool. You know, but outside of that, those federal differences, blacks are conservative ideologically, we're politically conservative generally. We agree with liberals on the federal government creating laws to protect us. That's what we agree with liberals on. Except for liberals use that to protect themselves through the form of immigrant laws and sexuality laws and corporate laws. Can't ever forget corporate laws. So, but he's telling you that's a core identity of his side of the fence. Yet and still, you always got goofy ass niggas. Well, we cool. I like, man, they still cool, man. They ain't racist. He just told you. So let's keep going.
And I definitely lean more towards the latter, which is it really is a core part of who we are. Our culture, our heritage, our ancestors, our customs, all of it. You know, it's not that I don't think that two people can fall in love from different races. Of course they can. And they have throughout history. And the races have mixed throughout history and assimilated. But for someone like myself, I always say on my show, it's just my value. I want to marry someone that looks like me, that comes from a similar background, because I want my kids to look like me. I want my grandkids to look like me.
But are you, sorry, I just want to make sure, did you say I'm a racialist or I'm a racist?
You know,
and he already said they're very, very, very. What did Dr. Francis Cress Welsing say? Their biggest. What's the race's biggest fear? Genetic annihilation. So, although he's a Catholic, according to him, and he shouldn't have racialized point of view, he still does, because what's deeper than his Catholicism is white supremacy. All you have to do is read the ISIS papers and just listen to them talk. Just listen to them talk. Everybody want to come around saying, oh, Dewan, you doing too much. You always talking race. And this is happening right in front of Candace Owens' face. And she's going to go right back being a MAGA conservative Republican, thinking that she has a common cause with this guy.
For a long time, I would say I'm racialist. Now I just say I'm racist.
Okay, so when you say you're racist, because these definitions get changed around, racist, you know, anti-Semitism gets expanded. What do you mean when you say I'm a racist? Because I think most people watching this would go, if you are a racist in the traditional sense of the term, why are you on this podcast, right? Wouldn't you just go, you know what, Candace is black, and therefore I don't want to speak to her.
Right.
Certainly not going onto your show and saying, why won't Candace have me on? That doesn't really seem to line up with the traditional sense of the idea of racist. So
yeah, and I'm being a little tongue in cheek. I mean, for the purpose of understanding.
Listen to what she just said. And this is to all you niggas. See, a lot of niggas, they think Candace Owens is smart because she speaks clearly. A lot of you black bozos is just as bad as white people when it comes to that. Y'all see a black person that speaks clearly and sits up straight and quotes a couple random book lines, you automatically think she's smart. She literally just said, but a lot of you bozos think like her, by the way. Let me take that back. Y'all agree. Let me go back to what she said. She basically said, since Nicc Fuentes is coming on her show and speaking to her, a black woman that doesn't align with traditional races. Hear that again.
Podcast, right? Wouldn't you just go, you know what?
Let me go back a little bit further. 27. Let me go back a little further.
You know, anti-Semitism gets expanded. What do you mean when you say I'm a racist? Because I think most people watching this would go, if you are a racist in the traditional sense of the term, why are you on this podcast, right? Wouldn't you just go, you know what, Candace is black, and therefore I don't want to speak to her.
Right.
Certainly not going onto your show and saying, why won't Candace have me on? That doesn't really seem to line up with the traditional sense of the idea of racist. So
it does not line up with the traditional sense of racism. Theodore Roosevelt invited Booker T. Washington to the White House. First time a black man was invited inside the White House. The same Theodore Roosevelt that in the Battle of San Juan X'd out the black Buffalo Soldiers and wrote their history out of that battle, only for his white Rough Riders to be in the center of the photo and get all of the credit when he and his Rough Riders stayed at the bottom of that hill while the black Buffalo Soldiers charged that hill and won the Battle of San Juan. Same Theodore Roosevelt that wrote plenty of racist laws, scaling back the advances Black people got during Reconstruction. Further, whatever little was left over during Reconstruction, Theodore Roosevelt did his best job to strip away from Black people's rights, down to ignoring what happened down in Wilmington when that Black town was seized and taken over, and the Black leadership kicked out. White, when it comes down to it, we've had Abraham Lincoln would speak to Frederick Douglass, but he also said if he can keep slavery and preserve the Union, he would do so. And he said that the white man in America has the right, basically, to be first. That's his right. We saw during the 60s, racist white media journalists invited Malcolm X and Martin Luther King on and Stokely Carmichael on all the time. What's his name used to sit down with Ali? What's his name? Was that Howard Cosell? Howard Cosell on racist ass. You know, that just based on how he would talk about Black people. Howard Cosell racist ass would sit down with Black people all the time. What has ever stopped a racist from sitting down with a Black person? That shows you that Candace Owens has never taken the time to understand white supremacy, to understand what racism is. So fast to dismiss it. She never, and this goes to all you conservative Negroes, and this goes to all y'all. Y'all so quick to jump on the Candace Owens bandwagon that you ain't even took the time to analyze the system that you live in. I'm giving you guys, I just gave you guys about 125 years of examples. Well, Tucker Carlson sat down with Ice Cube, 2 years ago? Bill O'Reilly, he's invited, how many what's his name was, remember when Cameron, when he invited Cameron onto his show, Bill O'Reilly? Like, what are we talking about here, Candace? What are we talking about here? We can continue to go down the list. She doesn't even understand how racism works. Candace Owens, you have a mega audience. 100% of them white boys that go on your show, man, be looking at Candace Owens' live, she be having like 150,000 people in there live. Candace Owens' show gets millions of views. Why would he not use your platform, doofus? Let's keep going.
Yeah, and I'm being a little tongue in cheek. I mean, for the purpose of understanding, I'd say my views are I'm a racialist, but I do think that we
let's keep going back. Let's get to this part when we start talking about Compton. Well, let me expand this shit, make it easier.
a Black neighborhood, we know what that means and why the property.
Here we go. Now they're talking about Black neighborhoods. Listen to Candace Owens give this dude a platform to talk like this about Black people.
Most racist. You're sort of after this craze where everything was racist. It's sort of this recognition that.
Well, first he checked. Oh, let me go back, because first he checked her. He checks Candace Owens, and then starts talking about Black people at large. And watch how she allows this to happen.
Right. The traditional sense of the idea of racist. So
yeah, and I'm being a little tongue in cheek. I mean, for the purpose of understanding, I'd say my views are I'm a racialist, but I do think that we need to deconstruct this idea of racism in the sense that, you know, look, you're Black, I'm white. it is what it is. For my entire life, people have been walking around in eggshells about the subject of race, about white people being racist. Can I say this? Can I say that? Can I have this opinion? And me, I'm sort of, Gavin McInnes said it like this. He said, you're kind of post-racist. You're sort of after this craze where everything was racist. It's sort of this recognition that we live in a heavily racial world. And, look, sometimes we have racist feelings. Racist feelings like I want to live in a white neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live in
Dr. Claude Anderson said years ago in Black Labor, White Wealth, he said back in the 90s, because back in the 90s, that's when white people were being nice and not saying anything. It was very hush-hush to talk about racism. Dr. Claude Anderson said back then that that's going to be gone by the year 2000. White people are mad, they're angry, and they're only going to go so long before they start expressing that again. So had this dickhead, had Candace Owens not been so busy reading Thomas Sowell and reading Dr. Claude Anderson, should have been ready for this and should have been ready for the aftermath. He's literally going by Dr. Claude Anderson's playbook. He's going by Dr. Welsing's playbook. Dr. Welsing said the same thing. They're only going to play nice for so long.
a black neighborhood. If they're all like you, obviously it'd be a different story. But when we think of a black neighborhood, we know what that means and why.
If they were all like you, it would be a different story. You see how they want black people to be? Oblivious to what racism is and white-leaning in ideology. If they were all like you, and she sits there, she's sitting there, she's not defending black people at all. She's going to let them get this off. Listen to this.
The property value.
But that's Black Americans. This is why I want to understand this idea better, because
she said, but that's Black Americans. Let me slow this down to regular speed so we get all this. She said, but that's Black Americans. Let's slow this down.
I want to live in a white neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to live in a black neighborhood. If they're all like you, obviously it'd be a different story. But when we think of a black neighborhood, we know what that means and why the property value.
But that's
cheap.
Black Americans. This is why I want to understand this idea better, because
she said, he said they're all like you, it would be different. She says, but that's Black Americans. So all you dumb doofy ass niggas out there that say, why do you Black Americans delineate? This is why. Caribbean Candace is willing to she delineates at any and all times is convenient. Caribbean Candace delineates whenever it's convenient. And this is why we're just saying enough is enough. We're tired of people playing both sides on us. We can't play both sides. My sides is Natchez, Mississippi, and goddamn Texarkana and Alabama. My side is Michigan and Texas. My side is Louisiana and North Carolina. I mean, in Virginia. That's my side. My side is Benton Harbor and Indiana. My side is Dallas and Fort Worth, nigga. My side is Overton, Texas and Lufkin, Texas. This is why we delineate. My side is Kentucky and Milwaukee. That's my side. Oh, but that's Black Americans. No matter what side I go to. Oh, want to go to Tulsa? That's my side too. My great-grandfather, Mr. Foster, was living in Tulsa when that massacre happened in 1922. Only for my great, beautiful grandmother to be born there a few years later in 1931. But I'm sorry, 1929. But my great granddaddy, Mr. Foster, was living in Tulsa. So she's talking about some, oh, but that's Black Americans. Y'all see why we don't fuck with her? I can't delineate between Milwaukee and goddamn Nashville. This is why we delineate. Yeah, somebody said, ICE, please deport. Yes. So let's keep going.
And this is kind of something my cousin has said,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess you could say is a racist statement, but she says that white people in America are the white trash of white people in the world, meaning that like there's a special category of uniquely that you don't see when you're dealing with like white Americans here, that if you went across to just, I mean, like Switzerland, you wouldn't see this version of a white person necessarily, or this, you maybe went to the continent of Africa, you don't see this version of a Black person either. Like even if you went to like to the tribes out in Africa that still exist, they would be a far cry from a Black American living in a neighborhood in Compton, right? So I'm trying to understand if you're actually, you think that it's all Black people are like this, or if your world is kind of...
She went from white people being discriminated against across the world and being prejudiced against. And that's true, because when the term dirty Americans is in reference to white Americans, because that's just how white people talk. How did they get to Compton? Let's play that again.
Meaning that like there's a special category of uniquely that you don't see when you're dealing with like white Americans here, that if you went across to just, I mean, like Switzerland, you wouldn't see this version of a white person necessarily, or this, you maybe went to the continent of Africa, you don't see this version of a Black person either. Like even if you went to like to the tribes out in Africa that still exist, they would be a far cry from a Black American living in a neighborhood in Compton, right?
So she's basically saying the Africans and tribes, and we act very different. We have different cultures. Tribal Africa and city Black America has completely different cultures. But bitch, my Uncle Bingo had a house in Compton. And yes, I'm using the word bitch, because now you're talking about my family. My Uncle Bingo owned a pawn shop and 7 different houses in Compton. Compton wasn't always a ghetto. My Uncle Stanley had a house in Compton on Castlegate and Alondra. These are good, decent people who bought houses in a suburb where Compton. Do people know that Compton has farms? Like most of Compton is farmland. If you Compton got a bunch of houses that are 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but it's sitting on a 1/4 acre of property because they have a whole ass farm in their background. Compton got farms all throughout Compton. Horseback. When I went through Compton in the 80s as a kid, it was nothing to see people riding a horse down Greenleaf. These are civil people. And in the early 80s, Candace Owens loves any kind of government conspiracy she can think of, but she tends to ignore the effects of the crack epidemic of the 80s that came on the heels of the heroin epidemic of the 60s. They threw heroin our way. We kind of fucked us up. They kind of like dazed us. And we was like, but we stayed on our feet. And then they threw that crack at us. She knows every goddamn conspiracy on the planet. And she's going in and shitting on Compton when Compton was a constructive neighborhood up until its own government put drugs on it. And then they turned around and destabilized the community through the Biden bill. 100-to-1 prison sentencing. Families getting ripped apart. Battle rams getting knocked through the houses. Funding cuts to the education system. They took machine shop out, the schools. They took wood shop out. They took all the vocations. You can go to Compton High in 1968 and graduate a certified plumber in 1968. In 1988, you can graduate without knowing how to spell. She knows every goddamn conspiracy, but we can talk about this stuff and it's documented. But all of a sudden, it's something wrong with the people in Compton. See? Somebody said Compton was dangerous before the Biden bill. A stupid, Chris P. The Biden bill was written after they put crack out there in Compton. Compton wasn't dangerous like that. in the 70s and the 60s, especially in the 60s. Motherfucker, you know how many goddamn family stories I got? My dad used to walk from Slauson and Broadway to Compton. 69, 68, 65, 72. Well, by 72, Pops had a Riviera. He was rolling his Riviera by 72. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
So I'm trying to understand if you think that it's all Black people are like this, or if your world is kind of colored by this is what's going on in America. This has failed for 1,000 reasons. Welfarism has definitely, Black people in 1940s stand up. My grandfather, I talk about that denigration and the corrosion of culture. That's happening. White, Black, whatever you want to name it, there is this intentional corrosion of culture. So do you think it's literally, well, this is just what a Black person is when they come out? Or do you think that post welfare, LBJ, Great Society, this is what Black Americans have become, and I have a right to respond to that and say that as a white man, I don't want to live there?
Well, I think it's more nature than people would like to.
That's something that Black conservatives and conservatives overall like to talk about. They like to blame it on LBJ and the welfare system. Well, that does have something to do with it. But how do you leave out Nixon's war on drugs that started in 1971? How do you leave out Goldwater talking about that was a war to intentionally destabilize Black America? You conspiracy theorist ass motherfucker. It'd be different if, if Candace Owens isn't a conspiracy theorist, that's fine. Okay, you someone that just believes what the mainstream says. Okay, I get why you're a coon. I get it. But if you claim to be somebody that does deep dives, how the hell do you pass up Henry Kissinger and Nixon and their attack on Black America? How do you forget that? How do you just skip over that and then crack 10 years later? How do you just leave that out?
Believe, there's this classic tension of, is it nature, is it nurture, is it cultural, or is it intrinsic?
So I'm not going all the way through his answer. He goes and he's talking about how he believes that's how Black people are. I'm just establishing this, and then we're going to get to his response to her after it's over with.
Pushing back on this is because those perspectives that you hold, Thomas Sowell did a really good job debunking that. And I think the book is called Intellectuals and Race, and he opens up and makes a very sound argument that these characteristics are not immutable, and that it can be your environment. And he kind of goes back and
reads Thomas Sowell, not Dr. Claude Anderson.
Discusses who had the highest IQ and who now has the highest IQ. And so I just disagree with you fundamentally, but you have a right to have that perspective.
So you don't think that there's group differences on average between the races?
I think, just to be clear, I think there would be group differences if you took it, like we were talking about, an American versus somebody who graduates college in Europe. There'd be tremendous differences. Not
tremendous, but yeah, there would be slight differences. But you don't think that racially there's differences between races?
I think, yeah, because we have huge differences culturally. So going to your point of saying, I don't want to live in a Black neighborhood, well, neither does LeBron James when he gets money, right? And there's a reason for that, because there is something that's happening culturally in Black America that's been going on for a very long time. But that thing, I would argue.
Herder, the reason why Black America is messed up is because there's something culturally wrong with us. Not the jobs being taken, not the intentional drugs that were put in. Where is this cultural argument when talking about Europeans in the 1920s? Thought Crimes talked about this today on their show when I was listening to Thought Crimes. I didn't get to watch it all in the blackout. I didn't get to watch it all, but I'll listen to some of it. And Prince Solomon said something real. He was like, look, nigga, the drive-by shooting was invented by Italians. And that's true. The mafia days, the whole gang system, that was Irish, that was Jewish, that was Italian in the 1910s, 1920s. And quiet as kept, still is. The oldest gangs in LA are the Spook Hunters, the Schneider Boys. These were gangs in Southgate, all throughout LA, that were created to harm the black people in South LA before we had gangs, before the Slausons, before the businessmen. You had these white gangs in Southern California that used to go around and terrorize black neighborhoods. And that's how black gangs were formed. You had the Lunada Bay Boys over down at Palos Verdes. You had the beach gangs all along Venice. There were gangs that formulated all during the early 1900s here in LA because black people developed the beach. We developed Santa Monica, where the current Viceroy Hotel is on Ocean Drive in Santa Monica. That was land that was from black people. That was our land. And they took it. And it was the gangs that helped run black people out, the white gangs. Same thing we did know. With all this beach land in America and in LA, do you guys know that part of the reason why gang culture is so synonymous with LA is because white gangs were the first ones? You want to talk about Compton? You stupid motherfucker. Look up the history of it. This is Compton right here. This is Watts. And in LA, back in the 40s and the 30s, the Mason-Dixon line was Alameda Street, right here. You see, this is Jordan High School, where a lot of you musicians, Charles Mingus and them went to high school, and there used to be a train. Now the train line is underground, but this train line used to be above ground. And black people were boxed into this area, red line into this area. My great-granddaddy, when he moved to LA from Ben Harbor, Michigan, after inventing the automatic railroad crossing, he moved up here in this area, right over here. My great-granddaddy lived in a house, where's 22nd? 32nd. This is where my great-granddaddy moved to. I can show you his house, goddammit, when he moved to LA. Where is it at? Right here. When my great-granddaddy moved to LA in the 1930s, boom, he moved in his house right here, right along Central Ave, where during this time, there's a Renaissance period going on in LA, a black Renaissance. The same way Harlem had a Renaissance is the same way Detroit, Chicago, Oakland, all the black cities in America were having a major renaissance during the 20s and the 30s. And in the 30s, during the Great Depression, it was black people that were the ones that kept Cadillac in business, because when the banks failed, black people didn't have any money in the bank. So we didn't lose a whole lot of money because we didn't have a whole lot of money in the bank. So this is what we were doing, Candace Owens, before we were forming gangs. This bakery right here is still black owned. This a bakery, 27th Street Bakery, was black owned back in the 40s, and it's still black owned today. So this is what we were doing at the time. Miles Davis, John Coltrane, all throughout the 1940s and 50s were known to travel these streets and play. We didn't have gangs back then, but the white folks that lived on the other side of Alameda, they did. And that was the northern part of LA. And then when you get down to Compton, all over here, Long Beach Boulevard were white gangs, white gangs, white gangs, white gangs, white gangs. So the black people in these neighborhoods had to create gangs to protect themselves from white gangs and the LAPD. Same thing when you back out and go to There's a gang called the Lunata Bay Boys. They where's Lunata Bay? I think it's over here. You park over here, Lunata Bay. God damn it, the Point Vincent Lighthouse. They're gonna take your lights out. Here's Lunata Bay right here. One of the longest standing gangs in LA. Y'all think I'm lying? Chat GPT. Let's just go and talk about this since y'all want to talk about culture and bullshit. Y'all want to talk about culture, Candace Owens? Let's go. Lunata Bay Gang and Palos Verdes. Let's see what Chat GPT comes with. A self-appointed survey gang active since the 60s. It go back further than that. And it talks about this. It goes back further than the 60s. But look, there was actually even a federal investigation on them back in 2016. Because what happens is those gang members end up becoming Palos Verdes police officers. They become Palos Verdes city councilmen. And they're now 3, 4, and 5 generations of this gang. Question, if it's a cultural issue, why do people who live in these beautiful motherfucking houses, very rich people, look at how beautiful Palos Verdes is. Look at how big these houses are. Why in the hell do they need gangs? Why is it if you go surfing right here in this bay, people are going to come out from these big, beautiful ranch-style homes? Look how big this goddamn house is. You want to talk about culture, you bitch-ass Nicc Fuentes and Candace Owens or whatever the fuck your name is? Why do people who live in these palatial estates need gangs to stop people from surfing right here? Motherfucker. All throughout here. Y'all know about Bruce's Beach in 1923. Y'all heard about Bruce's Beach getting taken because all up and down California in the late 1800s, early 1900s, these was black neighborhoods. White folks didn't know what the fuck to do with the sand. So we got kicked to the beach. That's why we was here. They didn't know how to work the topography of the land. El Segundo Beach. Do you know in 1920 that there was supposed to be a Coney Island for the West Coast built right here where you see El Segundo Beach? This was supposed to be a black Coney Island. But when black people secured the permits, secured the land rights, got funding, and was about to build the shit, white people who lived here in El Segundo came and burned it down. You want to talk about culture, you bitch-ass motherfuckers? Candace, whatever your name is, and Nicc Fuentes, you square-jaw Mad Max Animaniacs looking bitch. Come over here to the goddamn Viceroy Hotel. Where's the Viceroy? I'm just going to top of my head. Where's the Viceroy? The Viceroy is, I think that's before the 10. The Viceroy is somewhere over here. No, that's the, no. Where's the Viceroy? Okay, I know it wasn't too far off. Right here. Here's the Viceroy right here. Do you know that this was a resort right here that was stolen from black Americans? And the family's in the court in a fight right now to get the land back. This hotel, the Viceroy Hotel, this was our shit. And the city of Santa Monica came and just stole it. So you want to talk about culture? You want to talk about culture and gangs? What? One of the major Hells Angels hubs is Venice Beach. You want to see some goddamn Hells Angels in the 70s? Stand right here. Well, this is Santa Monica Beach. They be there like a motherfucker too. But even now, fuck the 70s. Even now, You want to see some fucking Hell's Angels, some white gangs? Come on over here to this beautiful land. LA had to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars, even though they still be here. LA had to spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to clean up this shithole. When I grew up here back in the 80s, this white shit, this Venice Beach was a shithole. Go back and watch that movie, White Men Can't Jump. Go back and watch White Men Can't Jump. This was a shithole because of white gang activity. And you want to narrow this shit to Compton? You dusty bitch. And I swear to God, somebody need to sock Nicc Fuentes in that square jawline of his. That Mad Max looking hoe ass nigga. So after Candace Owens allows this BS to go on her platform, she low-key agrees with him when it comes to Black Americans, though. Not when it comes to her blacks. When it comes to Black Americans, she agrees with them. So I want y'all to play. I want y'all to sit back and watch. This is Max from Animaniacs. We're Animani, totally insane. Pinky and the Brainy. Animaniacs. Jump going up, Mac. What's his name? Where's Mac? What's the picture? What was that kid's name on Animaniacs? Was it Max? Why can't I get an image of Max? I thought it was Max. Where's his image? What was that little rich kid name? Montana Max name. Montana Max. Montana Max. Thank you, chat room. Here we go. This is Montana Max. So we're about to sit back and listen to Montana Max and listen to how he just straight up obliterates and disrespects Candace Owens to the highest form. I'm going to cover my face up here and we're going to listen to Montana Max and his response after she yucked it up at him. Listen to what he has to say to her.
And above all else, put some respect on my name.
He's talking
and
about
I
her.
hit the nail on my head at the end. I kind of went off. And I said, look, I was 17. What's your excuse? You got married later than me. You got red-pilled later than me. You became a truth teller later than me. And you haven't gone through a fraction of what I've gone through. And she wants to call me out. That's what she texted me. She goes, I'm calling you out. And my response to that is, bitch, you have no right to call me out. And maybe it's time for you as a woman to sit down and shut the fuck up. That's me, a man. You want to say, make me a sandwich? Okay. This is me, a man, telling you, a woman, to sit down and shut the fuck up before you call out anybody else. Sit down and shut the fuck up. Bitch. I'm so sick of it. She's got her book, Make Me a Sandwich. That's the book cover. Her book cover is her sitting cross-legged. I'm going to sit. Her book is her sitting cross-legged. Make him a sandwich. Okay. You want that, huh? All right. Well, hey, listen, Daddy's home.
You're an incel.
A real man is home. I'm pulling up my sleeves. You want to call me out? Sit down and
I want to make a point. As much as I agree with him going into her, and I would not protect her because you see how she just threw Black America under the bus. Look how much of a hoe these white supremacists are. Dude, you was in front of her. You could have said all this shit. And this is what I want black folks to notice. How much of a coward these white supremacist men are. This Montana Max looking hoe ass bitch couldn't even say it to her face. He was all yuck. Yeah. This is Montana Max when he's in front of her. This is Montana Max while he's in front of her. Where is it at? What was that? The 122 mark? This is Montana Max when he's sitting in front of her.
You know, maybe I've been unfair to you. I don't know you, you know, and like you said, we talked once and twice.
We finally got there.
No, but it's true. And I've never, this is the first time I've met you and I don't know you. So, and I'm willing to admit if I'm wrong, you know, maybe I've been unfair. But for what it's worth, they did put you through the ringer, and I don't even need to tell you that. You know it, and everyone knows it, and it sucks.
I actually thought you were a Fed at one point.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here going, this makes no sense. I
Look at
literally
him.
just
Yep,
am being
yep,
punched
yep.
in the face 1,000 times. Everyone's coming after me. What did I do? I tweet the hashtag Christ is King, and like my whole life is over. And now I kind of understand that it was because people were watching your show and they were
right.
And truly, people can just be ignorant. It's just like I said, I would not describe you as like all the moms are lining up to watch Nicc Fuentes.
Some moms love me.
Some moms love you,
There's
I'm
some
sure.
moms
But
He had nothing but air and opportunity. He had nothing but air and opportunity in front of him. But as soon as he leaves her face, this is him.
Okay. You want that, huh? All right. Well, hey, listen, Daddy's home. Hey, a real man is home. I'm pulling up my sleeves. You want to call me out? Sit down and shut the fuck up, bitch. That's what a man has to say. And make me a sandwich and make it good. Turkey and provolone. Can you handle that?
You see how they are? What's up, Rocky? Rocky just woke up. Turkey and provolone guy. Hey, Rocky, let's watch this white dude be a little bitch.
But I did eat last night. Turkey and provolone. That's how I feel. And honestly, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Make him a sandwich. And then she's going to give me, she texts me on Friday. I'm calling you out. I've had enough of you calling me out. You cannot call me out. 1, you are a woman. 2, you have not gone through a fraction of what I have gone through. You know nothing. I have been on this since 2017, since I was 18 years old. You want to call me out? And that's, honestly, that's the epitome of it all. Before you call out anybody, how about a shred of humility? How about an ounce of self-awareness? Why don't you observe the fact that while you had a contract at Daily Wire, Turning Point USA, InfoWars, book deals, and by the way, because you're a black woman, because you are a semi-articulate black woman, you're like Obama. She don't talk with that Negro dialect. She was a black woman who did the conservative grift, and she rode that tokenism doing fucking Blexit for 10 years.
Oh, there we go right there. And that's why he's mad. You get that, Rocky? And that's why he's mad. I told y'all, this MAGA rift is real. They fight each other, but you niggas are on the front line. Candace Owens, I'm sure they're going to come for Officer Tatum pretty soon. They've already gone up to Jason Whitlock. These white men are mad, and they perceive black people that are in that conservative space as having some sort of a leg up. And they do oftentimes but that's for them. They got to blame their own white supremacist folks for that. White supremacists are looking for a black person to mimic their talking points. Don't get mad at Candace Owens. Get mad at the same system that you benefit from, you stupid motherfucker. Yeah, she did get to the front of the line. Who put her there, you dumbass? A white person. Daily Wire, it's a white boy. He acted like Candace Owens got pushed to the front of the line by Essence Magazine. He acted like she got pushed to the front of the line by Jet and BET. No. She got pushed to the front of the line from your people. She didn't get pushed to the front of the line by Jews. She got pushed to the front of the line by a good old boy, white folks. So why you mad at her? These people, these white supremacists are punks. I'm telling y'all, they punks. They don't want to face reality. They're punks. He couldn't even call her out in front of her. He talking about, I'm a man, I'm a man, I'm a man. But you acting like a bitch. But at the same time, there is no defending Candace Owens. Candace Owens, you are on your own, non-sister. I'm gonna call you cousin. You on your own, cousin. Because you already said you're not a part of this inner family that's Black America. You part of the cousins across the diaspora. Cool. I'm not about to chastise Nick Fuentes for bashing you. You invited him on. So Candace Owens, and you're gonna have to deal with that. That ain't my problem. As a matter of fact, I thought his rant was pretty funny. Makes you want to watch Animaniacs. Acne! Yeah, I remember that episode of Animaniacs when Montana Max had acne and they thought he was saying acme. He's going, acne! You all right, Rocky? You want to go? Hold on. Rocky, you want to go, baby boy? Here. Here, go ahead. There you go. You want to go? Yes, sir. Here, go ahead, Rocky. Go ahead. Cool. Rocky had to get out of here. I know it was turning to an adventure, but I was part of that. Turning to an Animaniac, same shit. Remember they used to have the Animaniacs and then they would cut to the Tiny Toon Adventures? They'd be on the same show. So he's mad. And then somebody said, well, he's been demonetized and can't make money online. She can. That's where his stupid whiteness comes into play. Candace Owens, at least, and she was demonetized for a while, but Candace Owens knew to fall short of causing and rallying violence. Nick Fuentes used to support violence on these social media platforms. These social media platforms, no matter how white supremacists they are, they cannot afford the lawsuits from people that are fanning the flames of violence. So Nick Fuentes can bitch and moan all he wants about being demonetized, about being kicked off. You also supported a lot of violence. And that's where all social media apparatuses come out and limit you because of the liability that they're under. Because you know why, Nick Fuentes? They stop at violence? It's because your people are most likely to shoot up schools. And what happens when white people get shot up and white people decide to sue? They win. When niggas decide to sue, a nigga can get locked up for 40 years and he'd be lucky if he get $1 million. Let 2 white kids hear a gunshot. $40 million settlement. This is where your system is crumbling in on itself. So the system that benefits you, Nick Fuentes, the system that you benefit from, that's your system crumbling in on itself. You incite violence, you attract lawsuits. They always leave that part out of it. Playing victim because all the white supremacists, yes, you incite violence. You can't do that. Candace Owens is smarter than you, although she's an idiot too. She knows to stop short. Candace Owens knows she can say all she wants. Jason Whitlock knows he can say all he wants. Just stop at violence. Kenosha, Wisconsin. These are people that were listening to Nicc Fuentes and these 4chan websites. These people who actually carried out violence amongst groups of people. So he's over here playing victim when he openly and willingly crosses a clear line. The violence line is very clear in America. And the reason why it's clear is liability from lawsuits. So you see this MAGA rift, and it goes deeper than what's going on with Candace Owens and Nicc Fuentes. You see it here. Oh, my bad. I already had it up.
In many ways, intentional. We're all being driven to these extremes. And it's either you are this or you.
This is Glenn Beckho. I think it's Glenn Beckho ass. Yeah,
It's truly horrifying.
By social media, because what social media does, it fuels tribalism, where people in the end, they become so tribal and the echo chamber keeps reinforcing this one singular worldview that when facts change, they don't want to accept it if it is negative to their tribe. And it reminds me, I wrote a book about this several years ago where I talked about, if you go back to 2,000 years, you would have genuine tribes, right, in the world. And they would be on their own and they would dress a certain way and they would cut their hair a certain way. They would eat certain food. They would drink certain.
This is basically Piers Morgan talking about the tribalism that's going on within. I don't want to play the whole clip, but that's basically the Glenn Beck and Piers Morgan talking about the tribalism going on within MAGA. That's their way of explaining it. I'll play a few different newscasts that are talking about Trump his old ways not working. Because Trump, what's happening is you got this major rift going on, but Trump's traditional ways of rallying the troops aren't working. Listen to this, watch this article, watch this story on CNN. I got way too much open. Hold on, let me close some of these other. What the hell? What the hell is going on? She's working just fine. I must be you. Twitter's working fine. What the fuck is going on here? Hey, got to close out, open it back up. Let me go back.
Confidant Elon Musk.
There we go.
The MAGA fault line seems to be widening from a fracture into a Grand Canyon-sized chasm after President Trump called the very MAGA supporters who reelected him stupid and foolish for refusing his demand to back off the Epstein files. It was former Trump confidant Elon Musk who dragged conspiracies of an alleged secret Epstein client list back into the mainstream spotlight. He posted again overnight and reacted to the president's calling it all a hoax, a complete 180 to what he's been suggesting for years. And it is Musk's so-called free speech remake of X that is now feeding the theories and the MAGA divide because of them. Just listen to how some of the most vocal MAGA loyalists are now breaking with the president.
If you talk about this, I'm going to excommunicate you. Well, you're not the Pope, bro. I mean, you're not speaking from the throne ex cathedra.
Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible? Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
I mean, we're getting flooded with hundreds of thousands of comments that are very unhappy about this. President Trump was elected primarily to go after the deep state. We want to go after the deep state.
It seems like you think your base is stupid. That's how I feel. I feel like Trump thinks his base is stupid.
Bringing this into the public arena was President Trump. That's a matter of historic record.
Okay, much to discuss here with me now.
So I want us to point out and just look at this rift that's going on with MAGA. This shit's amazingly funny, dog. This shit's hilarious. Black folks, this is why we said when we started the card reading for the year, stay the fuck out of this fight. I think there's something wrong with this link. Because this is the same one I tried to play earlier. I think there's something wrong with this link right here. But anyway, y'all got the gist of it. Stay the fuck out of this. These people are fighting. We ain't in this. And look at what's happened with the Black folks SR. Nicc Fuentes, Jason Whitlock are two of the most prominent Black MAGAs. They Black MAGA asses is getting all the heat right now. Because they will never miss an opportunity to take off from fighting each other to fight a Negro.
An investigation.
So if you want them Negroes that want to jump in this, just rest assured, you're going to be Candace Owens. You're going to be Jason Whitlock. They're going to shit on your monkey ass. And as long as you don't mind being shitted on, go ahead. This whole situation that's going on right now with the Epstein thing, that is fucking them up. You had Israel, their anger at Israel, followed by their anger at bombing Iran, followed by their anger at this big ugly ass bill. Now you got him saying the last thing these MAGA Republicans was holding on to you for was they thought these idiots thought Cash Patel was gonna come in and change the FBI. Black people, pay attention. These are the same people that always talk about us and call us crazy for voting for a particular party, thinking that's gonna do something. We weren't crazy. We had faith. It's just a lot of us have broken off with that faith. Everybody has faith in this government. That's how the fucking government exists. Not real. It's fiat. The Republicans and the Democrats both require all of our conscious a critical mass of us to buy into the bullshit. The same people that called you crazy, look at them. They bought into the bullshit. And guess what's happening? The same thing that happened with Black Americans when we thought President Obama was going to be it. I want y'all to see the parallels. Remember we thought Obama was going to be something? And in the first term, we still had all the, yeah! But when that second Obama term came in, and by 2013, we started to realize Trayvon Martin happened. I started to notice when he first came in and he gave the bank all that bailout money to them banks, trillions of dollars in bailout money. When Obama came in office, we still had our neighborhoods. By the time he was gone, our neighborhoods were gone. We realized, we got fucked over. And they were saying, yeah, you stupid Negroes. Did you think he was really going to be there for you, man? What did you think, Negroes? You stupid, man. Now, the same ones that said, Trump, MAGA, make America great again. You even had the unfunny ass Andrew Schultz coming in talking about how disappointed he is in Donald Trump. That's what y'all get. I'm having a good time watching y'all faith crumble right in front of my face. This is fun for me. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this idiot.
He's doing the exact people that like they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do, except sending immigrants back. People that like they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite.
Republicans always increase spending, stupid. God damn. Reagan. These Republicans are dumb than a motherfucker. They cut taxes for the wealthy elite. And all the rest of us are left footing the bill. Reagan did this shit. Dummy. Bush 1 did this shit. Dummy. Bush 2 did this shit. Dummy. The fuck? And these are the people that want to, whenever you see a black person stub their toe on the side of a door, they want to be all up in our world. All up in our world. See, if you leave us the fuck alone and mind your goddamn business, you would have seen this Trump bullshit coming. Fucking idiot. Oh, he's a Republican. He's not going to start any war. Nigga, Bush started 2. His daddy started 1. Reagan had all kind of covert military operations going on in Afghanistan and Iraq when he was president. Cold War versus Russia, all that shit going on. And you thought, these people are fucking idiots, y'all. Even the people that present themselves as smart. Candace, Owens, these are fucking idiots. So, black folks, it's on us to sit back, relax, and watch. Don't take nothing of this personal. Even black conservatives that have different ideological point of views, I'm just laughing at you. Same way I'm laughing at Democrat Negroes. People I know in person, man, I don't even, when I know people in person, I don't even get into the whole political thing because it's people I vehemently disagree with politically that I can still break bread with and be cool with in life, in real life. That's why you don't abandon human relationships over politics. This is why you don't hate other people because they have a different political point of view. Their point of view is usually based in bullshit. Even the people that sound smart, the people that sound like they know what they're talking about, they don't know a motherfucking thing. I don't even talk to my family about politics because my family still wish Kamala got in office. Just like a lot of y'all families, especially the older generation, they see Trump, man, I'm leaving that conversation alone. I'm not about to have any ill will towards anybody who's been good to me in person over a political point of view. I'm talking about we have people, y'all got people out there that picked your kids up from daycare when you couldn't make it. You got people out there that shot you a quick 100 on Cash App when you needed it most. You got people out there that gave you a discount that helped you take your kids to football, basketball practice, and you falling out over a difference of a fucking political point of view. You mean to tell me you're going to turn your back on somebody who in real life did some beautiful things for you, your children, your cousins, because you differ on how you view Donald Trump? Donald Trump fooled his own people. Why the fuck would you fall out with somebody in real life over this dickhead? I just be like, yeah, I don't agree with that. Yeah, you can keep that. Kamala's not black. I don't fuck with her. But I'm not about to fall out with a real life human being. Nigga, you done bought me a drink at the bar before. That one drink you bought me at the bar 2 years ago mean more than how the fuck you view a politician. Fuck all these politicians. They all lying to us. They all lying to us. Democrat, Republican, they're lying to you. That's why today's show is to sit back and laugh. Ha 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 ha. You fucking idiots. Y'all thought y'all had a friend in the White House. And you got no crazy part about it is, MAGA folks, y'all got 3.5 more years of infighting. Oh shit. Whatever negative y'all got for us as black people, we'll make adjustments. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll make adjustments. We know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. But watching y'all squirm, this is about to be fun. But before we get out of here, we're going to close out with this day in white America. I saw this story on the news. This shit was hilarious. Do y'all know in Brentwood, right down the street from OJ's old house, it's a white dude that was arrested. I'm assuming he's white. He was arrested today for having a whole bunch of fake fire clothes. This motherfucker had a fake fire truck. Who the fuck gets a fake fire truck? And they think that this fire truck was used in them fires that was happening in the canyons. Let's watch Today in Caucasity. This is the ultimate what the fuck story. Listen up.
An investigation continues in Brentwood after FBI agents raided a home.
It happened earlier this morning off of Rockingham Avenue near Sunset. The large police presence, a stunning wake-up call for neighbors. And Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda is live at the scene where authorities remain tight-lipped on the details. Carlos.
That's right. Those neighbors still have a lot of questions about what happened. Why was there this raid this morning? Well, right now it appears that this was a case of someone who allegedly had equipment and gear that could make it appear that he was a legitimate firefighter. The FBI, LAPD, and other agencies came to the home on Rockingham Avenue early this morning. They found this fire truck inside the property. It's an older model dating back to 1986. It also had burn marks on the top. One person said they're looking to see if it was out during the Palisades fire and if the suspect could have been impersonating a firefighter. Records show the registered owner of the truck is the Santa Muerte Fire Department. That name was in the news before. Back in 2023, this man, Andrew DeBoer, was accused of impersonating a law enforcement officer in Chino Hills. According to the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, DeBoer was wearing a law enforcement uniform and had a firearm. He also wore a badge that read Santa Muerte Fire Department, which investigators say does not exist. No word if these two cases are connected. The fire truck today had official state plates. The plate was removed and the fire truck was towed away. Agents also searched several other vehicles. Neighbors say there has been police activity here, but nothing like this.
We heard the helicopter just circling above the house, and so we looked out, tried to see what was going on. Didn't know what it was, but came to check it out and saw, FBI's here, police are here, so, and this abandoned fire truck is here, so curious to find out what happens.
And one other neighbor who didn't want to be identified said she believes.
So there you have it. This motherfucker not only had a fake fire truck, he had fake plates and a fake registration to a fake city. That's how they get to move. How in the hell did that truck even get registration in the DMV for a city that didn't even goddamn exist? Meanwhile, you got Candace Owens and Nicc Fuentes talking about Black American culture. Y'all know where Rockingham is in Brentwood? Let me show y'all. The hood is over here, 110 freeway. This is the hood. That crime happened way the fuck over here in Brentwood. Where's Sunset? That's Santa Monica. I mean, that's Wilshire. Where's Sunset at? Was that? Yeah, that's Wilshire. So I mean, Sunset is north of there. There we go. Sunset. That shit was way the fuck over here. Not too far from OJ's house. Here's Rockingham right here. That's where this crime happened. You see, you got UCLA. It's not too far from UCLA. Not too far from Holmby Hills, Bel Air. Not too far from Murphy Ranch. This white supremacist Nazi talk about culture. Do people even know that we're over here in Murphy Ranch? This was a white supremacist training ground during the 1930s and 40s and for the Nazis. And when Charles Manson was living, they said that he was renting out a house right over here off Old Ranch Road, not too far from Murphy Ranch. But that's another story. We'll talk about Charles Manson and all of the white artists that was part of the Laurel Canyon murders throughout the 60s and the 70s through now, which is over here. Talk about hundreds of white folks ending up dead in a small amount of time, all connected with Laurel Canyon. We'll talk about that non-black violence culture later. Today we've had enough time. So, but yeah, this is what you're getting from people talking about our culture. They're over here stealing goddamn fire trucks in neighborhoods niggas not named O.J. Simpson are not allowed to live in. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it's crazy. That's right down the street from O.J. and Nicole Brown Simpson. Right down the street from that shit, man. But there you have it. You can still sign up Sunday for the third class, Black American Music Family Tree, the history class for the youth and for adults if you want to enroll in. Please, if you're part of that class and you did not, we have some new signees, and so I'm not sure who got the course materials and who didn't. So if you did not get course materials and handouts from the class, email me and I'll send it right to you, all right? But yeah. All right, thank y'all again for listening. I appreciate the super chat, Victor Villain. I got a couple super chat. Boxing Logistics said, Logic said, Nick Fuentes, tight respect. FBA, she threw us under the bus fast. Nick Fuentes noticed her weakness, and that's why he destroyed her. That's a good point of view, Boxing. Yeah. He saw her back off real fast. Fuentes gets another coon. Yes, he did, Victor Villain. Oh yeah, Sherry, I appreciate the super chat. Let me at least say what's up to the super chat before I get up out of here. Sherry, I appreciate the super chat. Nidra, I appreciate the super chat. Dana, I appreciate the super chat. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. And remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. Those willing to pick up the game. Get ready for a late night live tonight. I think we're gonna have a late night live tonight. All right. Y'all have a good one.
Subscribe, darling radio, like and subscribe.
right. Shout out to everybody in here. We in here deep, ladies and gentlemen. Family, we got Bushmeat Barrister up here. Do y'all want to hear from Bushmeat? Do y'all want to hear from Bushmeat Barrister? All right, let's see what Bushmeat Barrister have to say. Speaking of sassy, all right, Bushmeat Barrister, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, how's it going, Tariq? That whole diatribe, especially that woman attacking 619, is a great example on how FBAs are just not on code and how they just attack each other. Don't you agree?
No, we're having a heated conversation. Nobody's being.
Yeah, but the way she was just disrespecting and using the N word, it's just a prime example on how, your FBA women just don't have no respect for Black men in general. Just heated, just dysfunctional, degenerates.
We know
But that's a prime example on what's wrong with FBA people in general.
Well, we know that's a projection. And by the way, Bushmeat, you sound a little sickly. You're all right? Do you need some warm goosey soup or something? Why you sound?
No, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm just saying that's just a prime example. I actually contacted you because Dr. Boyce Watkins, he had a broadcast a few days ago, and he brought up, 3 successful Black women. I'm not sure if you heard of them: Sky Jackson, Halle Berry, and Naomi Osaka. And he talked about how picking the wrong man will just ruin their careers or just ruin their lives. And that's basically what these 3 women did. They basically picked 3 degenerate Black men. They got in relationships with them, and all 3 men went ahead and made them single mothers. So I'm just asking you, why is it that so many FBA women tend to pick degenerate FBA men? And why do FBA men tend to, basically ruin their lives or basically just not take care of their own?
Well, foundational Black American women, they've always been very successful at certain things, and they've chosen good mates. Our good sister Ida B. Wells, the legendary Ida B. Wells, Coretta Scott King, who else? Madam C.J. Walker, Beyonce Knowles. So yeah, so we have.
But we're not talking about the past. We're talking about currently, right now. These are like basically Halle Berry or Halle Bailey. I mean, she was like when she was casted for The Little Mermaid. I mean, everybody was talking about her being a future Oscar Award winner. Right now, now that she's knocked up by a DDG, degenerate black male rapper, that's not going to be in store for her for a future. Basically, she's just going to be typecasted for ratchet Black movie roles and Naomi Osaka. I mean, everybody was talking about her being the next Serena Williams. And ever since she got into a relationship with that Black male rapper, her career has just gone downhill. So it seems like so many
Hold on. So should our FBA sisters do what your fellow Nigerian actress does, Cynthia Erivo, is go out here and date a stud? Because that's.
Well, no, actually, I think FBA women should follow the
Erivo, from your lineage and your homeland, she's dating a stud right now. So is that the move? That's the relationship?
That's not. I mean, let's talk more about what Kerry Washington did. Kerry Washington is a beautiful, successful Black female actress. I believe she's FBA. She married a Nigerian man named Nnamdi Asomugha, a successful, smart Nigerian Black man. So that's the role.
Washington, I think she's half Jamaican, something like that. So she's not full FBA. So, there's a little immigrant thing going on in her family, and that's cool. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. But if we want to go there, our FBA sister Nia Long, she dated a fellow tether. Remember, she dated that basketball coach, and he cheated on her with a white woman. So he was a bed buck, and she left his ass.
She was never married to him, though. I'm talking about, and that's the other thing. Why don't FBA people get married? It seems like they do everything backwards. As the late Kevin Samuel said, it seems like Black people do everything backward. They have the child first rather than get married. You're supposed to get married first, then have children.
You get married when I'm married. I mean, we get married when we want to. It's not a rush to get married. See, y'all got to get married. You tether.
It's dysfunctional.
You
though.
tell this, y'all have to get married for scam purposes. Y'all got to get married to get a green card and to flee and just all types of scammy stuff that you're projecting onto us. Let me get Ty Powell in here. Brother Ty, hop on in here. Let's talk to Bushmeat. Brother Ty Powell, unmute your mic. Where you at, Ty?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Brother?
Yeah, I think Bushmeat, I think he wants to be a successful black woman.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's talking, I mean, I think he wants to be a successful black woman. I mean, you got to understand, a lot of us are married. We are.
That's not true. That's not true. The stats,
really?
the data doesn't lie, Tal. You're being
Oh, okay.
disingenuous. The
Okay,
data
the-
does not lie. Black
the
people are
data
not
does-
getting married.
Oh, we're not getting married. So what are we doing?
You're creating dysfunctional families. That's what Black people are doing.
But
Degenerate,
you're
dysfunctional
you're
families.
from a country that has paternity fraud that is worldwide number one.
Exactly.
Number one worldwide. The number one country for paternity
It's
fraud.
actually Jamaica,
No,
not Nigeria.
Oh, Jamaica's number two as of 2023. I'm looking it up right now. As of 2023, it might be number one now, 2025, but as of 2023, Nigeria is number one.
Yeah, Bushmeat, y'all have some of the relationships in your homeland. Not only paternity fraud with the women, people don't know who their kids are, orphans running all around, abuse of women, child marriages, all types of weird dysfunctional shit. Homeland. You're very weak.
You're being disingenuous though, and I'm not sure if you heard about that story about the successful Black business owner. His name was Todd Austin. He CEO of what's his company, Credit Champs. His baby mama killed him while he was getting a haircut. That's dysfunctional Black culture. That's murder suicide. Usually murder suicide.
Black folks generally don't do weird shit like that. No, we don't. That's not Black culture. That's just a situation where some bullshit happened and got killed. They ain't got nothing to do with Black culture because we ain't co-signing that. Professor Alon, let's hop on in.
Hey, family, I just want to identify the source of the issue. The source of the issue is Bushmeat Barrister is a Bantu. And Dr. Chancellor Williams teaches us that since 4500 BCE, the Bantus ran their ass up to Ethiopia, and the Ethiopians said, "Get y'all scamming asses out."
Damn.
Then they ran their ass to Somalia, and the Somalians said, "Get y'all ugly asses out of Somalia." So they ran to Nigeria, which Flora Shaw called the Negro area. I'm being nice. Until the Europeans colonized their ass, and they ran their ass to France. The French said, "Get the fuck out of France." So they ran to England until Brexit. Now they've run to us. Bushmeat, just like the Somalians, the Ethiopians, the French, and the English. Get the fuck out of my country.
There it is. Thank you so much, Professor Alon.
All right. Yeah, just insults, ad hominem attacks, but I'm just stating.
I'll Bushmeat Barrister. That was damn clown. All right, appreciate y'all tapping out. I'm gonna end the live. Appreciate y'all joining us tomorrow or later on today for part 2. In the meantime, make sure y'all like and subscribe to all of our platforms. Frontline Black News on YouTube and Facebook. The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook. Yes, Black First Hands on Facebook and Twitter. For peace, love, light, reparations, and separations of Black empowerment. Appreciate Underrated for coming through. Appreciate Jay Millie for coming through. Appreciate DMG for coming through. Shout out to Mike 285. Shout out to Twin Pyramid. And shout out to Win Lose. It's Entertainment, Brother Kahari. Anybody else peeking and not speaking? All right, peace, y'all.